5 innocent people killed. Not a sign of a human.
Murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers.
It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder.
In all cases, the killers are eating.
What's up, everybody? This is your boss. How'd y'all like that? Thought we'd do a little something different tonight. Told you I had a few things up my sleeve. Hold on one second. You never know what Vault is going to do. I told y'all I had a few new little toys that we're going to be playing with. I thought we would go and do an old time goodie here tonight. You know, one of the old 2.0 vaults. Yeah, Chaos will be along here in just a little bit. Lakea's in the chat. Girl, I'm going to tell you something. That was one hell of a good show. As a matter of fact, hold on one second, everybody. Vault has got to go do a little promotional ads here. Yeah, we going to do that. Go over and you got to go listen to Miss Lakea's new show. Yep. We're going to put it right down here. There we go. Y'all need to go over and watch that now. Leave her a like. If you're not subscribed, I will find you. But like I said, you know, I thought we may do a little, see, we can add some of this in. There's my brother Chaos.
And you started the party without me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. What are we talking about?
A little bit of everything.
So did you tell him about the new show that just dropped a little while ago?
Oh, I can put it in the stream.
Yeah, Miss Lakea finally dropped the show and dropped the bomb of a show too. It was really good. I enjoyed it.
Hey, you missed the start of the show.
Oh, you played that, didn't you? Oh, that's so cool. Nice. I'll definitely be listening to rebroadcast of that one.
Yeah, hey, you never know. You might hear you
Oh, Jesus.
What was that?
Whoa. Was that here or there?
You can't tell, you know.
So, how many people we got in the How many people we got in the chat room so far?
We got 6 so far. I told them this is what we're going to do. I'm in such a good mood, and I don't know why. You know, I found a few friends I can dig up after a while. I figured we would just have fun since this is the first show me and you got to do together. We're going to do an old 2.0 show.
Really?
Yeah, we're gonna bring some snot out of the dirt.
Oh boy, yeah. Just going left right out the front gate. Let's not waste any time, shall we?
Hold on one second. Let's get the audio something off. Hold on one second. Does that sound?
So is there anybody? You sound good to me.
I think I'm having to cut you down just a little bit.
Whatever you got to do.
Hey, does that sound all right?
Yeah, you sound fine. I mean,
was-
I can't hear myself, but you know.
I know I'm asking them in the chat that way.
Speaking of the chat, is there anybody that's going to be brave enough to get into this with us tonight for a little bit, or what?
Oh, I'm gonna call some people out. You just wait.
Oh, you calling people out? Oh, okay.
Hold on. I don't know what you're doing. It sounds like you're shoeing a horse over there.
Who, me?
Yeah,
Like I'm shoeing a horse?
that's what it sounds like.
Well, I don't think I'm doing. I mean, I'm having a smoke, and maybe I should pull my microphone back from my face. How does that? Is that a little bit better?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Does that sound all right to everybody? Vault had his stuff kicked up a little bit.
Well, you know, it's all trial and error, right? It would be a live show if it wasn't like that.
Dude. Yeah, we got some stuff. I told y'all the other night when I started hitting buttons. I got a bunch of stuff. I can kick up. We can kick up. You never know what button vault they hit over here. So we got a warning that comes out.
5 innocent people killed. Not a sign of a human.
Told y'all, Vault's got some new shit for y'all.
Oh, you're in for it now.
That ain't
Yeah,
all.
so
That ain't all the buttons.
I'm out. So I am out front of my place. I got a good Wi-Fi signal. So I am just chilling out. Sky's starting to clear up a little bit. I'm starting to see some stars. Maybe if you see a little activity out here, I can describe it. I don't know. And if I happen to blink out, then that means I'm probably about to get probed. But, you know, it is what it is. Take one for the team.
That's okay. Vault's not going to be broke.
That's not okay if it's me. But, you know.
No probing. Thank you. Look, like I said, I did a show the other night. It started out on Lizard Man and kind of went left. Hey, Paul is in here.
Oh, man, get that guy in here with us. Get that guy in here. I ain't talked to him in a dog's age. Speaking of Lizard Man, I've got some shit to say about that. So, or should I not swear? Oh, we're going left. It don't matter.
Okay, it don't matter. Go ahead.
But, you know, the whole thing is that, like Paul had mentioned David Icke. David Icke did this really deep dive into lizard men and how, like, the royal family are lizard men, and that's why Meghan and Prince Harry left and all this stuff, and, you know, all the shady stuff that's going on around the world and everything like that. You know, I tend to think of the same type of cloth where you can have wild people. As a matter of fact, I've been rewatching the X-Files. And they had this thing on the Jersey Devil, but it really wasn't the Jersey Devil. It was about like people who were kind of like, you know, wild people. They were like living out in the brush. They weren't like we are. I guess you could call civilized. That's even a word. But that's the funny thing about it is that I tend to think that, yes, you know what? Alien, cryptid, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm, you know, from all of the digging that I've done with different researchers, and there's a guy, Bruce Fenton, that's really, really good with his research. I tend to think that they were here long before people were. I don't know. It's something that's, I'm not really going to go into depth here, but I think they're all of the same species. Some are more civilized and some are not. They're just kind of living in the wild out there. Or I don't know what the big deal is like with what your experience. To me personally, I don't know that those were just like wild reptilians, honestly. I think that they had a purpose and a reason for being there. And when you made one fail the room temperature challenge, that kind of made them be like, you know what, maybe we should just pull back a little bit. This ain't one of them normal humans that we run up against type of thing.
Well, like I said, that was just dumb ass damn look. Like I said, I hope everybody goes over and listens to this show And there's another link, y'all. I'm going to be steadily dropping that link to my girl's show in here. So,
Yeah, y'all really need to get over there and listen to that after you're done listening to us, mind you. But, you know, it's just, you know, you really got to get over there and listen to it because it's a whole side of Miss Lakea that you haven't heard and you really didn't get. You know what I mean? And it's just a very cool, refreshing thing. And I'm glad she's back. I'm just excited because I feel like the band is getting back together. You know, we're back on the live shows. Miss Lakea is dropping videos now. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, you know, victory. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't keep us down for long. We just had to drop back and regroup, and we're coming back better than ever. So, you know?
Yep. Paul said he'll be up in a little bit. He's got some stuff going on in the background.
Hey, no worries, no worries. As long as he gets his butt in here, that's all that matters, right?
Use duct tape. It works better.
You know, duct tape is a big help on a lot of things. I'm just saying. I've used them on many of my vehicles. So, that's right. I had a Chevy Chevette that was held together by duct tape. It lasted quite a long time.
The Zippo is out of fluid right now, and Vault has not left to go get any, so I'm using a backup Zippo. I'm a backup Bic. That's why nobody's heard it. One of our players and listen. Like, hey, I'm gonna get you. I'm the listener, baby. Hello everybody in chat. Thank y'all. We're already up to 12 people.
Hello, everybody. Hey, come here. Come here. I got little chaos with me. See that? That's my microphone. Say hi to everybody.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody.
That's the future Squatch.
Yeah, that's the future Squatcher. Hey, I'm live with Uncle Vault on YouTube. They're gonna hear you. Yeah, it is such a beautiful night out here. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's nice and warm, and there's a cool breeze coming through. And I just thought if we were gonna do this, you know what I mean? Why not be outside? I got a good signal ready to rock and roll.
Is it dark there yet?
Oh God, yeah, it is.
So, are you close around everybody?
Well, I mean, the wife and the little one are out here with me, but that's about it. I mean, they can't hear what's going on, but you know, they only hear me.
When he least expected people, I got that growl on a button I can hit, and I'm going to get him with it tonight.
What? Get me with it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Like you haven't already maybe jumped that shit already, right? And I'm out in the dark. I mean, all I've got is my little, porch light going on. So, yeah, this is going to be great.
So, what is some? All right. We've been talking, shooting some stuff over the next show we want to do on the pit, on the Infernal ones. We got a few things that are, we've been mulling over. I know tomorrow night you and Marvin are going to do a show on aliens, right?
Yeah, well, unless if you have the time to join in on that, then it could be an Infernal Ones episode. But if not, it'll be a Chaos Effect episode. Because I mean, it's honestly, I mean, look, our show, your show, my show, Lakea's show, it's all kind of one big family affair type of thing. But yeah, I mean, it all depends. I mean, if you're there, then we'll make it the Infernal Ones. If you're not there, then we'll make it a Chaos Effect. I'm just gonna put it all in one big playlist. You know what I mean? So that way,
I don't want to make any promises, but I'm going to do my best to be there. But if not,
okay.
I love you, Dad. I was like, how are you doing, people?
Okay, go ahead. Later. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those deals where it's going to be called the UFO question. What we're going to be recording tomorrow night. And it's just going to cover a bunch of different topics, stuff that I actually want to get into topic per topic. You know what I mean? but I'm just kind of throwing an overview out there, and that's also going to allow people to get into the comments and say, hey, listen, I'd really like to hear about this subject of this, you know what I mean? Whether it be ancient civilizations or how, crash retrievals or whatever the deal is, you know what I mean? Between all the topics that we have, I just kind of want to get that out there and kind of like it's kind of like a table of contents almost type of thing, if you understand what I'm getting at.
Oh yeah.
But I can tell people that this weekend, maybe, I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow. I'm going to work on it tomorrow. I may get it out Sunday, but we're going to have a new episode of the Infernal Ones dropping this weekend. And it's going to be on, you know what it is, but it's going to be on cryptids and mythology. How close are they together? You know what I mean? Is mythology just mythology, or was these considered cryptids? We just don't know it because we have the terminology now. So it's kind of that discussion that we had on that, and I think it's a really good one. I think people are really going to like it too, because we covered a lot of different topics and a lot of weird type of little subjects,
Cool.
But yeah, that's what's coming up. So far, so good. I don't want to let too much out of the bag. We'll just give you a little bit.
Don't let too much out. Like I said, that's what we're going to say. So we're going to skip over that thing tonight. We'll talk about it tomorrow. What do y'all want to hear about tonight? And like I said, if someone's got the cojones, I'm going to drop it again. If somebody's got the cojones,
come on in, ask some questions. Let's have a talk, discussion, whatever the deal is.
Yeah.
We're just normal guys. Chat with our people.
There's the link right there. You come in, as long as you act like you're supposed to, we'll have fun. That's what we're here for.
I find the topics. Oh, what were you gonna say?
I told them the other night about you probably heard it because I know you listened to it. I told them the story about you sending me the disc with Paul. Paul was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." I thought it was What do y'all do?
I'm sorry, I missed. What happened? What I missed?
It sounds like a bunch of horses are running by.
Yeah, that's a little chaos. He's out here just running around doing laps, burning off that energy, so he goes right to bed.
Hold on, somebody's wanting to come in.
Somebody's trying to come in. Ooh. Hey, you gotta quiet down.
That is what chaos.
Oh, the star of the hour.
Yes, it is.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, loud and clear.
Okay.
All right, can everybody still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're just a tad low, but I can hear you fine.
All right. Well, I can come up. Well, I can blast you.
Oh, geez.
I'm only sitting an eighth of the way up on the board.
Oh wow.
And I got the game to get out. See, I can kick the games up.
Damn. Now you're all
I
basic.
need tape.
You need what?
You're what?
I need tape. I want to tape my cam just in case.
No, the games are cut off. They can't come on.
I've got it cut off. I want to tape it. I'm not presentable.
No, I have to turn it.
I know, but on my end, it was on, and I don't even want to see myself right now. I am not presentable. Thank you.
Okay. Miss Lakaya, let me say I absolutely loved the first show. I thought it was just really cool, and I cannot wait for more.
Yeah, yes, you got to tell us what you got in store.
The next one's dedicated. Episode 2 is going to be dedicated to chaos.
Oh, me.
Yep.
Is this an expose on the dragon?
I don't want my phone dropping.
Are we gonna roast the dragon? Are we gonna roast him?
No, 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 no. Let's just say it takes me and him way back. And, you know, from the beginning, and it's just kind of like a refresher, just a little dedication to him. It's his topic.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna listen to you talking about me. Am I?
No, well, not talking about you. It's just going to remind you of something we've done.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I don't know why that makes me nervous all of a sudden, but you know.
No, Paul, with these, I will never fall flat on my face. I will bounce. And probably bounce very high.
Look, y'all have thoughts going like back and forth, like kind of everything out. So if I lose,
Hey, brother, you're really low right now.
Really low.
what about now?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
like
perfect.
eat your mic if you have to.
Oh no, I can turn. Is that better now?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was trying to turn down the preverb before it kicked in, and I think I grabbed the wrong switch.
Chaos, are you walking around?
I am walking around, but I got little chaos running around near me.
That is the sound that everybody's hearing. I just figured it out.
Are people unhappy with that?
No, it's just everybody was trying to figure out what it was earlier. It's you. It's
Yeah. Yeah, that's little chaos running around me. It's kind of like he's like my little four horsemen, only with just two legs. So
yeah, I
he
heard
just
him
kinda
while
run
ago
around.
say,
Yeah.
I just want to say hey to the people.
Yeah. Yeah, he's I think he's my heir apparent. I think he's going to be the one that don't get me wrong, all my boys are awesome. Shotgun Bubba, Epic Henry, these guys are awesome and they're doing their own thing, but I think Oakley, the littlest guy, I think he's going to be the heir apparent. You know what I mean? I think he may actually take off into what I'm doing and what I'm talking about and the direction I'm going. So I think that may be the one, but especially with some of the stuff that's going on with him and all that stuff, I think he might be perfect for this. So.
Oh, okay. I could see that. Hey, Vault.
Yes.
When you gonna pay that baby lizard support?
I don't know what you're talking
Well, room temperature challenge and all that stuff,
No. Me.
He was the dad and an uncle, and he had babies. Now they got nothing. They can't eat bugs he can go get.
Y'all are not funny.
Oh my God.
You know what gets me is, honestly, it's like really, we live in a world where all this stupid stuff isn't supposed to exist, and yet it does. And here we are talking about it of like mind, and it's really strange. I never thought this for myself. Hey, I've seen ghosts and Bigfoot, and I had aliens flying over my house. It's like I could never in a million years have ever guessed anything like that would ever happen, or would really want something like that to happen.
Well, the thing about, people with high anxiety have hallucinations sometimes. They see things out of the corner of their eye and things like that. And it stems from anxiety. And it makes you wonder, though, how many of these stories. Now, I firmly believe in spirit. Y'all know that. I firmly believe in spirits and otherworldly things and abnormal things and just odd shit. But it makes you wonder how many of these stories are actually people that are just under a lot of stress and anxiety and having hallucinations.
It does make you wonder. The mind is extremely powerful. It really is.
They say a mind's a terrible thing to lose. I don't think I've lost nothing.
What's funny is it's something I kind of want to bring up. geez, I don't know if it's taboo or not, because I've seen this subject on many different channels, and it's weird how it works out. It's not more a statement than more a question. You know how, especially, can I go about this? Miss Lakea, especially, the power of the human mind, the power of the body, chi, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, and here's a question to me, because, and I'm not ragging on anybody's faith or anybody's beliefs or anything like that, because of my background where I grew up. You know what I mean? I know exactly where people are coming from. But you know how people say that they've expelled demons and aliens and creatures and all this stuff with the power of Jesus, right? By invoking his name and getting into it. Is it possible? And this is the track that I'm on and that I've been looking into. Is it possible that they are using their own power because they're tapping into something, invoking the word of a higher power, but they're actually using their own body, mind, and power, electrical, whatever you want to call it, how it goes to spirituality, and they're actually repelling these things themselves, thinking it's something that's a higher power, but it's actually them that's doing it.
Well, the first thing I was ever taught was we were our own temple. We were our own. Each person is their own god or goddess. Each person has that power within them. You just have to. That's why they call it a craft. You have to learn how to hone that power, work it, manipulate it, use it. I think anything's possible at this point. I have heard and seen and read some stuff that blows my mind, to where I'm sitting there going, no, no, there's no way. And then I sit and think about it and go, but what if there's that 1% chance?
My thoughts exactly. Man, sorry about
hell?
That might have been me. I had stomach grumblies. But it's one of those things. I totally lost my train of thinking now. Oh man. Now that's a ride. Holy.
Okay. Y'all, Chad, I jumped. I don't know if y'all did, but I jumped.
Wow. Jeez, I just had a beer. What do I do with it?
See, even Paul agrees with me.
No. Oh, there it is. There it is. That's the spot right there. That's
okay.
Right.
I accidentally hit the button here on my elbow when I was turning my chair. It didn't know it, and all of a sudden I heard it, and I started to look around behind me. What the hell's stuck in here?
Okay, this is what Paul had to say. He said, I think when you utter these names, it's actually empowering you. And it's this ascendancy that ultimately defeats the demon through your own belief or willpower rather than divine intervention.
Wow. Damn, Paul.
Cool.
Holy. That's all. Yeah, and my thoughts exactly. I mean, from what I've, because a lot of people don't know, and I mean, you guys are really the only ones that know this, but I'm just going to kind of throw it out there now, that I grew up in a very heavy Roman Catholic faith. My grandmother was taking me as a little kid, to church twice a week. It had the Sunday school thing. I mean, I'm not kidding you, people. And when I say you people, I mean everybody in the chat, everybody I'm talking to, that I've read the Bible cover to cover 3 to 5 times anyway. I don't really remember the exact number, but it was just my upbringing. And for me, seeing people normally one way, and then when you go to church or you get into these spiritual things, get-togethers that my grandmother used to take me to as a little kid, you really see people change when they're invoking this higher power that they believe in so strongly. It just seemed to me that they weren't channeling this energy, that they were bringing this energy, this power out of themselves. And that's what really kind of got me on the track to thinking, well, wait a minute, hold on a second. You know, why am I seeing this type of thing? But, you know, and then, you know, there's Harvey up in my grandmother's attic, and things just kind of snowballed from there. And it really makes you question everything when you see certain things, when you experience certain things. It takes your you know, this wonderful little pristine idea that you have of life in the world around you, and it goes, you know what I mean? Basically, kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
just popped a bubble, and now what am I going to do with this? Am I going to like just put it away, or am I going to try to understand it? And I just kind of went along the road of trying to understand it and looking deeper into certain things.
That I don't think I had the mind power to sit there and read a book that long, that many times.
Well, I'm going to let you know it's a big book. But the biggest thing with that is that, you know, when you're going to, you know, when as a little kid, you're going to Sunday school and you're going to these like Bible classes and all this stuff. And, you know, your mind is very, it's easily shaped. My mind was more of a sponge when I was younger than it is now. You know, and that doesn't mean that I can't learn anything, but it's just, I have the preconceived notions of life in the world around me now, whereas as a little kid, I didn't.
Why? Nobody called me all day, and then all of a sudden 5 people called me.
I totally did hear that, brother. You were like really, really low and echoey.
I said nobody wanted to call me today, and then all of a sudden 5 people wanted to call me in a row.
Really? I think I was one of them, wasn't I?
No.
Just now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to reach over and flip my mic off real quick. That way it didn't come over on the live stream. So,
Well,
Yep.
it wasn't me.
yeah, I'm acting a little bit on the.
When you move, we cannot hear you, Vault. Just letting you know, when you move, we cannot hear you.
Can y'all hear me now?
Oh,
Yes.
It sounds like you kind of need to stay right on top of that microphone.
Yeah.
No, the damn mic, it didn't got switched off.
Oh.
But I got enough power running through the board to it that it was pushing it, making it still work. Because y'all should be able to hear me real good now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
That's right, Paul. Tell him to pay up. Paul said those lizard babies are wanting their child support. You better pay up.
I'll get that.
You know, because you going to bed?
Good night, yeah.
Good night. Okay. Say good night to everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, sweetheart.
Night, little
Auntie LeKay said good night. Uncle Vault did too. So there it is. That's the voice of my future self. When I retire, he's going to be taking over, at least I hope anyway.
No, the best
Say
part
happy
about
birthday.
your kids is when they sing happy birthday when they call them birthdays.
Oh, yeah, of course. You have to do that.
That
I even
is,
as a,
man,
we,
I
we
wish,
actually, go ahead.
I was going to say, I wish chat could hear that one day. We're going to have to get them to sing it and post it for everybody to hear them sing happy birthday. It is the cutest thing on earth.
Well, you know what? If that happens, which I will make that happen. I don't know if it's going to be this weekend, but maybe in a few days here. I'm going to record that on my phone. Like I send it to you, I send it to you guys. Okay. And I'm actually going to put all of our faces right up on the channel. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. It's all good. We're only people. It is what it is. Just got to live life and enjoy it. Where the world is so crazy right now. And
That's the way I am. I am in a I don't care mode anymore. Like, life is then got too serious, too tough, too messy, too scary.
I've been like it for a while.
No way. I don't believe that. Not at all.
Never.
Not at all. No.
Can you hear me better and stuff now?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yes. Most definitely. Yes.
When I borrowed your you borrowed your studio, do you think I touched your mic or something?
Yeah, you turned. I was wondering why everybody was blowing my ears. My ears were getting blowed up, and
Sorry.
the control for the headphones was turned wide open, and I've been over here trying to adjust. I'm like, why the hell is everybody so freaking loud? And everybody can't hardly hear me. And I'm like, oh, finally I figured it out. I looked down and seen the headphones was turned all the way up. But it should sound better now.
You
Who
know,
does?
I can tell you, I can totally relate to that because when Lady Chaos drives my car, she changes everything. Like, I went to the store earlier just to go get some sodas and some twisted teas and some Pabst Blue Ribbons. And I'm going to tell you, I spent 10 minutes right in front of my house trying to adjust my seat back to the way I like it so I can drive good. And I tell her, just move it back and forth. I know you're a hobbit. It's okay. Just move it back and forth. You don't need to adjust the vertical and the horizontal and the picture or anything. But she still does.
See, the next video you get, you make sure to say, I got a button over on the side of my door. Especially if Lakay or somebody else is in there, they move the seat. When I get in there, my key does it, but if it doesn't do it, I can hit the button and it adjust my pulls the brake back down and adjust my seat back to where I had it.
Whoops. Sorry. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
Oops.
You know, since
The only person I see is Paul.
Well, it says we've got 12 watching.
And Paul's the only one talking.
Well, he said he'd be right back. Chat, you got any questions for Walter Chaos?
Yeah.
Come on, chat. This ain't our first rodeo, people. Let's go. I want to hear from you. I can't see you, but I want to hear from you. Come on.
Come on in and ask me anything you want to about Squatch. You know, I can tell you some secrets about Chaos. Maybe some about Lakay because she's not around.
I have no secrets. I'm an open book.
I mean, come on. This is a momentous event as far as I'm concerned. The band's back together. This ain't happened in a long time.
We're just missing one, and I didn't hear from her. I messaged her yesterday.
Oh, y'all just hold on.
And I have not heard from my vamp. Maybe I should have texted and said, let me text her.
Yeah, text her and send her a link. Get her butt in here. Oh, my goodness. I ain't talked to a littlest sister in a really long time.
You didn't put her number in my new phone.
I'm sitting here looking, and it didn't transfer to my new one either. That's what I just noticed. Whoops. Let me go see if I can. I know I got her. There she is.
So I got this tree. All right. I was right out there, but, you know, just point of conversation, just something silly to say. I get this tree that's probably about, I don't know, 40, 50 yards away from me. And it creaks like false old chair. Like, I'm not kidding. You can't hear it on the microphone where I am, but I can hear it through my headphones. I got pretty good headphones now. When this thing just creaks, it's like the haunted tree. It should be in the middle of a forest somewhere, creaking.
I missed my
freaking people out. Miss Lakaya, I need to tell you something. In listening, I'm not going to give away what your video was about for those who haven't listened to it yet. But there was one thing in that video there was a lot of things that struck me because I really enjoyed it. But there was one thing that really, really hit home with me in that video. When you were talking about the spiders, okay? Now, I'm going to let you know, and I thought, man, I've been seeing so many flipping spiders in my house lately, okay? And I'm talking like there was one that was fucking huge. It was almost the size of my beer can, okay? Which made me nervous. Like I was just gonna go get one of my guns and shoot the motherfucker. Sorry for the F-bomb people. But I was like, whoa, no, you know what I mean? I was scared. And then like the wife yells at me, babe, and I'm like, oh, God, it's now. So I paused the Sons of Anarchy, okay? And I get up and I walk to the back room where I normally do my recordings, and there's a big hairy ass barn spider on my door. And he was just chilling, just hanging out. And then I went and I grabbed some toilet paper. And because I'm okay with spiders, just stay out of my house, okay? Just don't come in my house in my car or you're going to be squished. But I go walking up and he starts moving. All right. And he's like, oh shit, the big one's coming after me. You know what I mean? But, you know, you're talking about the spiders, okay? And okay, it's creative. I can deal with the creative thing. I'm there, I'm creative. But if you're talking about loved ones, they're trying to reach me from the other side using a spider, you would think they would know me well enough that that is not the right way to do it. It's a fucking hummingbird or something. All right? Something that I don't see that terrifies my pure soul. Okay? Just saying.
And see,
You know?
this is what I don't. It's not that I don't get it. You know how I am. It's not that I don't get it, but you can take 50 different resources and look up the meaning of spiders, and each one's going to tell you something different.
Right. Right.
How
Yeah,
in
and
the
I get
hell,
that.
you know, how in the hell are we all supposed to know what the actual meaning is? I mean, I was taught one way, I've read another way, and it then means this in this culture and that culture. Finally, I'm just like, it's just a spider, damn it. It's got to go.
Well, you know, isn't that the beautiful thing about all the cultures that we have in our world and the different people that we have, that, you know, there's so many different meanings to so many different things.
Mhm.
Honestly, it keeps people like us in business.
It
Because
does.
we get to go through every single little thing and talk about it and enjoy the conversations and other people and their opinions, you know?
And it's not just that. You may tell, like on your channel, you may talk about the meaning of spiders and it be creativity. I may do it and it means something else. Then Balt may do it and it means something else. And that's 3 different ways right there over one topic.
See, y'all don't understand. Vault don't like spiders either. See, this is the way it goes. When I have a spider, it goes like this.
I can relate to that.
Duck said try a can of Aquanet and a pipe lighter.
Well, you know, if they're big enough, I'm telling you, I had to use a half a roll of toilet paper on that big one the other night. I wasn't happy about that.
Yeah, I removed one with a shotgun one time.
I was considering going to get one of my PT 111s for that thing because I was like, ugh, no, thank you. You know, it's oh man, I'm telling you. And you know what? And getting back to what you were saying, Miss Lakayla, I'm sorry, I'm like 5 beers in, man. I'm trying to hold it together, but but, you know that's, huh?
I said duct tape.
You know what? I do have a roll of that pretty close to me, actually. I think I might have one in the trunk of my car. But you know, I'm just saying that. Oh, damn it. But yeah, so many. You know, for me, the whole Sasquatch question, UFO question. You know, so many different things out there. When you talk to so many different people, the beautiful thing about that is their thoughts and their beliefs. As long as everybody don't get mad and get all butthurt about, you know, other people's opinions, you know, the conversations that you can have about that.
Yeah.
There's little pieces of the puzzle that you can pick out of everything that everybody says and start to put them together and give yourself a clearer picture. Because let's face it, there's no way I can wrap my head around the Bigfoot phenomenon. You know what I mean? There's no way I can wrap my head around the UFO phenomenon. You know, there is, and like for instance, an example, you know, when we moved in here, I was having a paranormal type of issue. You were on the phone with me and you really helped me out with some of the things that you asked. You know, you say, listen, you could try this and you could try this. And I go walking myself down the hill, Dragon Star Creations over here. And they, you know, they had what I needed, and some of the stuff they didn't have on hand, I had within a day or two. And, you know, that stuff really worked. How the hell am I going to wrap my head around something like that? You know what I mean? You tell me to mix a couple different powders and do this and line it along this way, and it worked. I'm like, damn. You know, It's like so that's the only way that me personally that I can do that is talk to a bunch of different people, listen to their stories, let them talk, and try to pick out pieces that help me understand what I'm trying to understand, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And sometimes, I hate to say it, but sometimes dealing with stuff, simple is best. I've learned that. Simple is best. You don't have to have this huge, and I mean, from any religion, any type of thing, you don't have to have this huge spectacle ritual thing to make something stop or to make something leave. I've learned that. If I had one lesson to learn, it was that sometimes simple is best. Keep it simple, stupid. That's my motto.
Now,
Yeah, and that's a great motto to have.
you stole that.
From you. Thank you, Vault.
Mm-hmm. One of them, are you trying to get in? Or?
Who's
Who?
trying to get in?
I don't know. 187.
That's Dice.
Okay.
Dice Roller?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, because I know that name because they just recently subscribed to the channel, and I remember seeing that in my little notification thing in Gmail. Nice. Okay.
Oh yeah, we had Dice around with the lizard man stuff.
Nice. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think I remember that. I think I do. I was listening to that at work.
Yeah.
So
Jason, yeah, Squatch is odd. Every time something you think you got it figured out, it turns around and bites you on the ass because like anybody tells you they got everything figured out, ask them where they've got it hid at because that's the only way.
talking about Squatch,
Yeah, he said.
you know,
It's Squatch is odd. The more he looks into it, the stranger it gets.
Has anybody
seeing
heard?
one.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, try seeing one. You know what I mean? I never in my life would have told anybody about that, but my dear brother over here pulled it out of me and actually got me onto a live stream talking about that. And I remember that I saw one. He was right there. It was I still can't. I know what it is. I know they exist. I don't know really squat about them. You know, everything I've learned from Vault. But I think there's so much more that we don't know and that we probably will never know, not in our lifetime. But it's the beautiful thing is that we can talk about it. And that's the nice thing. And hey, it happened. I was there. I'm in the club in rock and roll.
Well,
But
I took your advice and I'm starting to put together some little videos of what I look for on a property to see if there's a Squatch out there. So y'all have chaos to thank for that.
yay.
Hold on 1 second, y'all.
Well, something I want to say to everybody in the chat, okay, or anybody that listens to this in the replay, the whole 9 yards. I don't want, even though this is Vault's thing, and it's his baby that he created a long time ago, the 50 states of Bigfoot. I don't want to abandon that.
Chaos, go ahead.
Well, I just say I don't want to abandon that. I gave him a Maine sighting. Here we go. You know what I mean? Anybody that listens to this after the fact or now, if you've got a sighting, if you saw something, give this man an email. You know what I mean? Or if you email the Infernal Ones podcast, I will forward it to him and let you know that I did. Because I want to add, he's got a Maine one. You've talked about the ones all around your area, and I think there was another person that you actually put a video out a long time ago. It was a phone conversation with somebody. I can't remember what state it was, but it wasn't in the state that you live in. So I wanna really get out there. Come on, people. If anybody who's seen this talk, give Vault an email. Okay, the email's on the screen. You know, write it down and talk to him because I'm going to tell you right now, he's the best person you could ever listen to and talk about a Sasquatch sighting and will help you understand what you saw, which is what he did for me. And that's why I did a story on my channel about it. And that's why I talk about it freely, you know? Is everybody still there? Hello? Am I all alone?
Hey, I'll be back in just a second.
Oh.
A cigarette in the garbage can. I'm putting a fire out.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, guys. Well, while Vault's putting out a fire, everybody, just whatever you've got, you can get a hold of me. You can get a hold of him. You can even get a hold of Miss Lakea. It could be an episode on the Lakea show. Just if you've got a weird thing, and it doesn't matter if it's Squatch or UFO or any of that, we're all a family, man. You can talk about that stuff to us, because when you talk about it, it really, it's a very freeing thing. Trust me, I'm speaking from truth. As well, if you want, it can be put out to the rest. It can be put out to our legion of people, the Chaos Army, the Nightmares, the Infernals. However you identify yourself as, the Nightmares. You know what I mean? Hey, there's nothing more freeing than something that's been weighing on you for a long time and just kind of getting it out there. So,
Yeah.
Sounds like, oh, you're back. Okay.
I am.
All right. I was right in the middle. I didn't know that you ended up cutting out. I look at the thing and there was nobody talking. I was scared.
No, my Vault's little dog got wrapped up that I'm babysitting and snatched my whole computer and everything down.
That's your is a baby werewolf.
So I didn't have a computer for a moment. I had a mess.
Oops.
Well, I accidentally dropped a cigarette in a garbage can full of paper. Good thing I had to piss.
No, you did not.
Yeah.
I thought I heard water running for a minute there. I'm just saying.
Yeah, good thing I had to piss, because I don't know where the hell I put the damn fire extinguisher, but I got it out.
Like I said at the beginning of the show, if something doesn't mess up or if something doesn't go wrong, it's not a Vault 2.0.
Well, I mean, at least we didn't lose a microwave. I'm just saying.
Shut up. No. Lights lost the laptop, but not a microwave this time.
So what's chat doing? Is anybody talking? Anybody saying anything?
Paul told you, Chaos, that you need to carry the show for a moment because apparently me and Vault don't know what we're doing.
Oh.
And no, I added that extra in.
Oh, okay.
And then let's see. Jason said he's going to email something to Vault.
Sweet. Nice. Please do.
Killshot wanted to know, are we on every Friday? The guys try to do something, I think, on the weekends. I just put out a show on my channel, but I'm not for sure. I don't work with others anymore. I'm grounded.
Hey, you do what you got to do. That's how I see it.
I'm grounded.
Well, if Paul's listening, I just want to say that I love the whole, child support for the baby lizard men thing. But what about like bad wolves or bad wolf? What about that? I haven't heard a lot about that in a long time. I mean, I know you're busy and everything, but and I haven't been putting out a lot of stories on my channel lately. But I'm just saying, I've been putting podcasts out with my brother here. I just wanted to know about a bad wolf, maybe.
Hmm.
I got you, buddy. I heard you the other night talking, man. It's all good. You get it out when you get it out. That's how I look at it, but I'm going to give you shit.
Have you already emailed me?
No, he said he's going to email something to you. Jason did.
Okay.
Dice said, deep down inside, I think the Dogman just wants a hug. Not from me.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I wouldn't want to hug the dog, man. I'm just saying.
No.
I nominate Dice because I'm not doing it.
You're going to take one for the team on that one, buddy. Yeah, sorry. I don't mean to leave you high and dry, but you're going to have to take one for the team on that one.
Make sure you get one of those GoPros that's in the enclosure. That way, when they get it back from the poop, so we know what happened.
Ooh. Ooh. That's going there. You're going to go there, aren't you? It's funny. I can't. Oh, man, the Dogman. I don't know. You know, I don't ever want to see one. And you know what? There's a lot of people doing Dogman stuff out there. One of them happens to be a good friend of mine who does. He does a really good job at that, man. But it's just one of those things that it's like, I don't know, dude. I don't have anything for it. As much as I've tried to think about it and research it and maybe get a show together about it, I don't know. I'm kind of at a standstill, honestly, when it comes to that subject.
Crap. What was the guy's name that emailed you about doing a show?
Me?
Get Paul's in.
Emailed me about a show?
Well, I talked to. He was in the stream the other night. Something truth or something.
Oh, Abnormal Truth?
Yeah. Sorry about it. Dude, hey, look, y'all. Hey, dude, if you're listening, sorry. I suck with. I haven't forgot to call you. Just got really busy the other night, and I'm gonna give you a call. Paul, what's going on?
How's it going?
Oh, baby, I haven't heard you in a long time. How the hell are you, Honey Muffins?
Doing fine. Doing fine, bro. How are you?
Oh, I'm a lot better now. I can tell you that much. Awesome.
I got some.
There's a few.
Yes.
Sorry, there's a few things going on in the background. So if I mute myself suddenly, it's because I don't want to ruin the show by having some too much background noise. You know, like the sort of heavy breathing kind.
Ooh, I like heavy breathing.
I ain't that good.
There it is.
Vo, you are killing my ears, man. Shit.
I was getting the mood music going for Paul and Chaos to talk about this.
Yeah, but this is not Night at the Roxbury.
Well, it can be. I mean, you know, it can be. I mean, I don't know what the title of the stream is, but I mean, I can put my latex suit on and we can just get down. So I'm just saying, and I got it off my bigfootlove.com. I'm just saying, you know.
Hold on, I got something to say about that.
I was going to say, I'm planning on getting that story to you.
Or a heavy blow to the skull.
What the?
Oh, can you say that again, Paul? I mean, I didn't hear that one.
You were talking about Bad Wolf. I'm planning on getting it out to you by the end of this week. Well, the following week coming. So,
well, you know, that's awesome.
There's a few things I'm going to change in it, but for the most part, it's kind of the same. You haven't obviously seen the end part, but that's the bit that I'm kind of getting to. But there's a few things I'm just tweaking at the moment, just to time with the new sort of plot that I've kind of put in. So you should get it by the end of the week or next week, rather.
Well, you know what? You know, and I'm excited for it because I can't wait to read it. And that's just like, ooh, what I can do with it. You know what I mean? And that's the exciting part for me. But hey, I'm just giving you crap, man. Honestly, I just wanted to give you some because you know what I mean? I know we talked just like, what was it, like yesterday or something like that? We talked a little bit, or today. I can't quite remember, honestly. But, you know, hey, I know that you're going to come out with a killer story because, hey, I stand by every single story you put on that I've read on the channel, man. It's awesome. I really enjoyed that. And I still get comments about that even now. So
Bad Wolf will probably be done in a week.
Yeah, it's going to be finished. It's kind of hard because I've actually moved on to another story now, which I think is going to even be better. But I'm not going to say too much about that at the moment. But that will be coming your way as well, Chaos.
I got something for all the nightmares and the chaos.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, boy. Oh, Lord. Here it comes.
Really? Do you have to?
Jesus.
Whoa.
Man. Will somebody take that soundboard from him?
Sounded like cancer.
At first, I thought it was a good idea.
You were wrong, Chaos.
Well, you know, I'm gonna take a hit for that one. So
it is all your fault.
Hey, I only have 100.
Yeah,
but
only 100. We got to get 2 more.
Yeah. This is the one I was looking for. Little chaos over here.
Oh yeah, he'll love that.
Chaos. I got a question for you.
All right, shoot.
In your shows at the beginning, you know, it says blah 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 blah, and then does it say Bigfoot?
Yep.
Oh yes, yeah. And in the Infernal One's intro, that's Oakley. He says Bigfoot. I want Bigfoot. Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
It does not sometimes sound like Bigfoot.
Hey, I know. I've got a button already with his name on it. You need to send me that little snippet.
I could do that.
Yeah, so I can put it on my soundboard.
Yep, I can do that.
On bad audio speakers, it does not sound like Bigfoot.
No, I don't think it does.
It's so cute. I love it. You cannot change it though.
I'm not. I'm going to keep it.
Yeah. It is too cute. But I had a bet with somebody that's what it said was Bigfoot. So I win.
Yeah. Yeah, you won. It was Bigfoot. I want Bigfoot. Yeah, it is.
I won $5.
And I got an announcement.
You got an announcement?
By next Friday, the second part to Booger Valley will be out.
Finally. Oh, I've been waiting for this for like 2 years, man. Finally.
And if he doesn't do it, Chaos, I will help pay for your ticket to come down here and kick his ass.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm I don't see me kicking his ass, but I'm gonna give him a big hug. We can do that. We can make that a YouTube video. Chaos, the Dragon and the Reaper finally hug. You know what I mean? It's all man love, not in a bad way. So you keep them dirty thoughts out your head. But you know,
Duck said too far left, Chaos, too far left.
Nah, well, you know, it's gonna happen. Duck, man.
But
he's a good dude. He's a good dude.
Do I get to stay in the hugging part and stuff? Because I don't hug.
Oh, I'm gonna muckle right onto you. I mean, I know you're big and tough, but I'm pretty big myself. I'm just short, so I'm thick. So there we go. Ooh. You know, that didn't warrant a boo. I'm just saying. That's all love, man. All right, it's all love.
I thought it was wind after you opened the door. That's what it sounded like.
Ooh, yeah. Like, I can't believe you did that.
And that's okay. I wouldn't tell anybody that I was doing none of this tonight. Him talk here. But like I said, this is just a little sample. I've only went to the top of the keyboard. I ain't even. There's 100 over here. I don't know what all of them do.
Hey, Vault.
I didn't do it.
Vault.
Yeah.
Jason said he just emailed you, so I'm pretty sure you can check it after the show.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, we want emails, people. Comments, emails. Talk to us. It's okay. You know what I mean? Talk to us.
Hold on.
Tell us what you got going on. You know?
You sound desperate. Do you need a
For
friend?
me?
Yes.
Do I sound like I need a date? Is that what it is? I mean,
It sounds like you need a friend. Talk to us, please. Talk to
yeah, come on. Please. Come on. You know, it's.
I got a question. I'm in my email and I'm looking at a whole bunch of pictures. What all are you looking at?
Vault, nobody can hear you.
Yeah, I had a hard time hearing that one.
Can you hear?
Can you hear me now?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
What the hell?
Yeah. I'm going in to get some more beers.
I think your mic's on the last leg, you know?
Yeah, I think it got fucked up. But anyway.
You got my headset. Look here. Get my headset.
I don't have nowhere to plug a headset in. This thing is kind of finicky. It's XLR mic and all kind of shit. But I got
wireless.
I got your email here, and it's a whole bunch of pictures. What exactly am I looking at? Or looking for?
Jason said he wonders how many fake Dogman stories get put out just to get attention. Probably
A
a
lot.
few, and I'm thinking that goes for anything like Bigfoot, ghost. I think that comes with the territory. I really do.
Look,
Well, I. Oh, go
I
ahead.
mean,
for all the Bigfoot stories that certain, I don't even want to say certain channels, but certain that are out there on the net, you can probably take 25% of those are probably actually sightings, and half of those are going to be repeats on a bunch of different places.
I mean, even story times in other communities, like beauty communities and cleaning communities, there's been people that admitted to making videos of story times that aren't true just for views. So
Yeah.
You're dealing with a subject that piques a lot of people's interest, and people can make money from that interest just by spewing out stuff that it's more about content rather than quality, because it brings in viewers and it brings in money, and that's basically it's a business.
Yeah.
So take it with a pinch of salt. There's some real sort of genuine stories out there. You just got to sift through them to find them, really.
Yeah, and then you got to figure out, okay, it's actually kind of hard to figure out what's true and what's not true.
Yeah.
That's why on my show I state it's just for entertainment purposes only. Entertain yourself. You want to believe it, believe it. If you don't, you don't. It doesn't matter to me.
100%.
Well, I can throw that in there too. I mean, yeah. I'm not lying about any of the things that I've ever said. I'm not lying about the stuff that was in, Close Encounters of the Chaos Con. That was a crazy summer. I'm not lying about my Bigfoot adventure, but that's up to you whether you want to believe it or not, and that's okay if you don't. But in the same token, enjoy listening to the story, because I want to put sound effects in there with it. I know that I do a lot of fiction, but believe what you want to believe, and that's okay, because really we're just trying to entertain you and really just have a little bit of fun with this. But if you've got stories, tell us. You know what I mean?
Do y'all hear that? Can y'all hear?
I do.
That's Bear.
That's Bear.
Yeah, she's got Bear.
Nice.
He's dreaming.
Oh, he's sleeping?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's it. That's him dreaming.
Did I tell you guys my UFO story?
Yeah,
I never knew. No, you didn't. Please do.
It was happened a few years back. I'm sure I've told you, but I was actually driving from my mum and dad's place back into town, in a place called Edinburgh, which you might know, in Scotland. And I was it was dark. It was nighttime, and I saw this what I thought was an aircraft coming over. And it was coming over at speed, and I thought, that's a fighter jet. So I slowed the car down and stopped, and I put my head out the window. And when you see a fighter jet coming over, you hear the roar of the engines. Well, yes. It was completely silent. There was no sound at all, and this thing come flying over me. And when I looked up, I could see the underside of it, and it was a perfect rectangle in shape, and it had. It was like split into like 4 quadrants, and it had 2 shining white lights on opposite sort of corners, and then it was gone, so fast. But it made absolutely no sound. And this was on a road called the A71, and I later found out. I remember telling someone else that, and they went, "Oh, that road's notorious for UFO sightings," and I'd never even knew that at the time. But yeah, that's my first and only UFO sighting.
Wow. Huh. That's wild, actually. Rectangular. I have not heard of a rectangular craft until right now.
Yeah, it was perfectly rectangular. And it had, if you imagine like 4 sort of like rectangular shapes inside that rectangle, 2 of them were diagonally opposite, were illuminated bright white, and the other 2 were just black. But you could make out the sort of like the outline of the craft. It made no sound whatsoever, even after it was gone. Sometimes when a fighter jet flies over, you don't hear it at first, and the sound comes straight after. There was nothing. I just sat there thinking, what the hell?
Wow.
Yeah, I've heard of one cube story, or they thought it was a cube, but I've never heard of a rectangle.
Yeah, neither have I.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Actually, that's a really good story. And the funny thing about that is that when you start to think about it, it's like, okay, was that actually extraterrestrial? Was that Black Project? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
who knows? It could have been like some secret aircraft the government's been working on. But the fact that it made no sound though was what really threw me. You know?
Y'all realize how hard it would be to get a rectangular shaped object to fly?
Yeah.
in our technology, probably extremely difficult. But if you're talking about a technology from another civilization, we can't even wrap our heads around that type of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't discern like any sort of shape to it other than what I saw underneath it. So what was above that sort of undercarriage, I don't know. It was too dark to tell. But obviously the light shining below it was what drew my eye to it in the first place. And it was only as it flew over that I could see it. And it was perfectly rectangular with these diagonally opposite quadrant lights on. It was just bizarre.
Now, when you were on this highway, is it one of those highways that have a lot of street lights?
No, it's there's no street lights, and you can drive a good half hour without seeing any lights. It takes you about an hour to drive from my mum and dad's place to get to the city of Edinburgh, and you go through small villages and that on the way, but they're very spread out and sporadic. And the bit I was at that time was I'd actually just left the small town or village that they lived in. I was like 5 minutes out of that town when I saw this craft going over, but there was no streetlights, none whatsoever.
Was this before where you are now?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was just talking. Oh, probably 7-8 years ago now. 7 years ago, I'd say it was. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the thing that gets me about sightings like this is that they seem to know right above where they should be. And you know what I mean? It's like whether there's light pollution or not light pollution, or the lights are too bright on the bottom. It's like, it just gives you that little bit of nugget, and they don't give you anything else, and it's like frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I've got no explanation for that to this day, and I know what I saw. I'm not making it up, but you guys please believe whatever you want to believe. I'm just giving you my experience.
I don't doubt you. Like I said, I've seen too much weird crap, especially in the sky. I don't doubt nothing, especially flying around in the sky. I just think it's, I like it because it's a unique story, because like I've never heard of that shape. And just to think of how hard it would be to get to, that's not aerodynamically shaped. That's, and if anybody wants to know like what he's talking about, think of taking a brick and, well, I tell you what, take a brick. No, don't do this. I was going to say, take a brick. Next time you're going down the road, hold it out your window and see how hard it is to hold, because that flat surface on the front, it's a wall. So you got to figure out some way to get around that. Just, I can't wrap my head around it. How the hell would they? That makes okay.
Well, how do you get something like that can fly without any sound? Make no noise whatsoever. It was completely silent.
Because the power you'd have to push that craft through the air, dude, you'd have to have the back of it full of freaking big ass jet engines, like on the Challenger.
Yeah. When it flew over at first, I didn't actually twig at the time that there was no sound. It was as it flew off past me that the penny dropped. It was like, hang on a minute, there's no sound to that, And I just sat there stunned for a good minute, like pondering what the hell had just happened,
The only way that I think that I could possibly explain that would make sense, and more to me as well as everybody else, was, you're going to look at a propulsion system for a thing like that. It's not really going to have jet engines. It's going to have something completely different that, like for instance, if you look at the whole Bob Lazar case, he went in here, he went into S4 and secret government project to try to reverse engineer alien technology. And he's talking about something, like a gravity engine. And that kind of explains it, because if you think about it, Einstein's laws of gravity, that type of thing, where when you have a gravity bubble, and this is only, I'm not a rocket scientist or anything like that, or claim to be smarter than I really am. But, and this is all just through research, but when you've got Bob Lazar kind of mapped it out for you, that when you create a gravity bubble, what goes on the outside of the craft is completely different than the inside of the craft. You're actually kind of creating your own environment that doesn't move. So that's why these craft, these UFOs, are able to do the things that they're doing, because it would, like, if you could do that in a normal, air vehicle like we have here on this planet today, that would make your pilot turn into a puddle. On the side of the outside of the vehicle. They couldn't, the G-force would really destroy you. But if you were able to form a gravity bubble, your own environment, you could do maneuvers like this and go with speeds like this that would not affect your body.
Yeah.
And, if they're traveling in space, then I guess maybe a rectangle, it doesn't really matter the shape of the craft. When you're dealing with our type of atmosphere, that's one thing. But when you're dealing with a whole different set of rules,
I remember listening to one scientist talking about light speed. He was sort of talking about like craft that the government had made, anti sort of gravity crafts, etc. And they were talking about these craft, these UFOs that you were seeing that could move at phenomenal speeds, and they just seem to blink, out of existence almost. They move that fast, and he was kind of describing it in a way like, if you look at, like, for example, a bumblebee. The frequency that they operate on is so much higher than ours. And when they look at us, they see us as moving in slow motion. But they're at such that, they've got such a sort of fast metabolism, etc., that everything's at speed for them. And when they move, or you can notice they fly as well, or other insects, they move really quick. But when they look at us, we're moving really slow, yeah. And when you're in these crafts that are traveling at light speed, they're actually moving quite ponderously, but only how they perceive it from their own experience. From our experience, seeing it from the ground, they're moving at phenomenal speeds.
Huh.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. It does. It does. I think that the biggest thing that we need to all understand as humans is that if we're gonna if you're gonna try to understand this whole phenomenon, you got to understand that what we know as our rules of physics and gravity do not even apply to something like this.
I accidentally hit a button and kicked myself out.
I was wondering what happened to you. I hadn't heard you in a while.
I reached up to do something on my with my keyboard. Next thing I know, okay, it's like, where the hell did I go?
Well, I got something. You guys want to hear something new that I just heard about today, and I just had a conversation with my UFO guy.
Well, what's that?
Go, let's go.
Well,
let's hear it.
Yeah, exactly. And it kind of blew my mind a little bit too. That if you listen to Close Encounters of the Chaos Kind, it was kind of like a very short document of everything that happened to myself and my neighbors and my kids actually last summer of last year. And so my neighbor across the street, my UFO guy, he would take and come outside and he would take his flashlight and he would blink it at the sky of certain things. There's really not much to see for me right now because everything is a pretty kind of a heavy cloud cover, but he would blink his flashlight out. Well, over the last 2 or 3 weeks, he has not been feeling very well, and I can see it when I talk to him, and he ain't been feeling well at all. And this guy is kind of like, he's like deep throat, man. He's a deep dive into this type of stuff. And I can't even comprehend the type of people and research that he has done, and little bits and pieces that he's told me have gone into my own research and kind of helped me try to look around. But anyway, I digress. I talked to him earlier today after I came back from the store. And he had been telling me that he was told to not blink his flashlight anymore because there are those who do not like that. They don't want the attention. They don't want any of, they don't want any of this stuff going on because they've realized that there are other people, his neighbors that live on the street, namely me, my next door neighbor Tom over here. They don't like the attention that's been going on. They want it to be done more organically instead of being actually pointed out. And he was telling me, because he's got a lot of electronics, he's quite the set in his house. When he said, I won't do that anymore, I promise you, he started feeling better. Is that a coincidence? I personally don't think it is.
Well,
Because,
that's what I mean. Sorry.
I have nothing to say because I don't know.
It's kind of mind blowing, isn't it? Honestly, when you hear something like that, that it really hits home.
My question is, who told him that they didn't like it?
You see, I asked him that same question, and the answer that I got was from both parties. So my understanding is that from human parties and non-human parties, if you get what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I know how that sounds. Okay, but I know I've known this guy since the early 90s when him and I first met. And when it comes to certain things, he is the real deal. And I honestly, I got trust in the guy for something like this. You know what I mean? And in seeing him today, this happened, dude, I'm talking within the last so many hours that he literally looks completely different and talks and acts completely different than he did when I saw him before. So, yeah, not how it sounds, but I think that
I can't say yes, no, maybe. I wasn't there, so I don't know. But dude, that's weird. That's weirder than crap.
that really, we lost somebody. Oh, look, Miss Lakea, she's out. But yeah, it's one of those things, man. It's like, wow, is all I can say. And it gets me because I live right across the street from him. You know what I mean? And how do you see things organically? How does that happen? I mean, I know that if you want to get a chance to see a Squatch or even a Dogman or any of the other things that we've talked about, like with the podcast episode that's going to be coming out here in the next day, how is anything organic? You know what I mean? You've got to go out in the woods to see certain things. With something like this, you're just out on your street or you're driving along a highway. It kind of makes you wonder. It kind of takes everything that you've ever learned and kind of just throws it out the window, and that's a hard thing to deal with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's the problem with living the way we do. We've sort of got this illusion that we live in these safe environments where nothing bad can happen, and and this is our bit, and everything else lives, in the deep dark woods or the swamps, or we live in the what's called the primo niches, which is all the nice parts, but at any time anything can come into that environment.
I think you hit the nail on the head on that one.
If you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you're going to meet that thing, wherever that might be.
Like I think having to go deal with a bear, I think he got him spoiled.
You're really low there, brother.
Talking about bear, I think.
Well, it's.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Like Kara called me, she said she was getting out for a little while or getting off because she had to go deal with bear. I think she got him spoiled. I think she's got to go give me some bear snacks and.
You eat doggy biscuits, Bob?
No, I don't eat doggy biscuits. I did when I was little. I didn't know it, but I was told.
Did your mum and dad ever tell you as a kid that if you ate dog biscuits, you would grow a tail? As kids, we used to raid the cupboards for biscuits, and when there was none, the dog biscuits were fair game, and they don't taste that bad, I have to say. And to stop us eating them, our mum and dad had convinced us that we would grow a tail if we ate them.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how many I ate when I was little, but I know I ate some when I was little. I was told. But people have asked some unique questions in the chat.
Well, hey.
Yeah.
So what do we got? What do we got?
They want to talk about the stairs in the woods.
The what? Stairs in the woods?
Yep.
Man, well, you know what, brother? That is your for as much research as I've tried to look into this, and I know that we did a segment on it on one of the shows. That is still, I mean, for me personally, my thoughts on it, it could be an interdimensional thing. What's putting them there? Pretty much know what you think. You pretty much know what you think I'm going to say about that. But I don't know. That's a really interesting topic. That's kind of an enigma.
But my thing, let's say they are in a dimensional. Oh, can't talk. That's let's say they are interdimensional. Why would they show up as stairs?
Well, hang on a sec. If you were walking in the woods, right, and you saw a door, would you open it and walk through it? It's just standing there, like begging to be opened. Would you open it and walk through it in the middle of the woods?
Curiosity might make you do that. It might tempt me to do that.
Probably inspect it. I don't know if I'd open it. I've heard somebody that come across the door, just a door and a door frame in the woods.
And like, what gets me right is that like, I'm a trained carpenter. I've fit staircases, okay, and to fit a staircase, you need an upper floor for it to latch onto. It doesn't just hang there in midair. So if you're walking through the woods and you find a staircase which is just there, nothing supporting it at the top, that's kind of like a warning sign in itself, isn't it? To like,
I'm telling you, I've come across stairs in the woods. And Paul, have you ever seen that old movie called Gone with the Wind?
Yeah.
You know the one that she's standing on that kind of goes up and kind of curls or kind of like half around. It goes to a landing, and then it's another side that comes down.
Yes, yes.
That's the kind of stairs I've seen in the woods. Just the stairs. It didn't have the top landing. It was just the stairs on the ground that went up. They were not laid. They looked like they were being suspended in midair, but I don't understand how they were up. They wasn't laying down. They were up, and with everything that I know, those stairs, there's no way they should have been standing up. They wouldn't lean against nothing. That was just there.
That's bizarre.
And then when we came back, probably an hour, 2 hours later, it was no trace of those stairs ever being there. And as far back in there as we were, the only way they could have got them out was with a helicopter. We'd have heard it.
I think. You know how like certain people see ghosts, like not everyone can see ghosts, okay, but certain people see them all the time. Do you think it's the same with cryptids? Do you think certain people draw them in?
I don't know, but that's the other thing. There were 6 of us there, and all 6 of us seen the stairs. Now, one of the guys, we had to physically hold him back. He kept wanting to go up the stairs, and we wouldn't let him because I was actually scared I wasn't scared something was going to happen to him if he got to the top. I was worried about him falling because I didn't see nothing holding him up. We get him away from it and get him down there, and we get away from him a couple 100 yards. He starts acting himself again. He's like, I don't know why. Just something kept telling me I got to go to the top of the stairs.
Felt compelled to walk up them.
Yeah. Exactly. He just couldn't resist. It was like something took over him. Like I said, I don't know. Now, like I said, that I know for a fact. Like I said, yeah, the stairs in the wood thing. I don't know where they came from. I don't know how they got out there. I don't know how they. Well, like I said, we came right back through that same area because about an hour to 2 hours later, because the direction we were going, we were looking for somebody. In the direction we were going, when we got, like I said, about an hour away from there, it came to about a 300-foot drop straight down, sheer cliff face. And we're like, okay, well, they didn't go this way, so let's backtrack. And we come all the way back, and I wasn't the one that actually noticed it. The guy that couldn't stop himself from going upstairs. We get back, I'm talking about almost to the T where the spot was. He stops everybody, goes, hey, where'd they go? And everybody's looking at him like, what the hell? We don't know. That's what we're looking. We're trying to figure out where'd they go. He goes, no, the stairs. They were right there. And we got to look at, you're right. Because there was a couple of rock formations and stuff like that
we knew where we were. Yeah, the stairs should have been right over there. They're not there
So
no
the
more.
ground wasn't messed up at all, was it?
No, and there's leaves and everything else all over there. You could not tell where nothing was. But he stepped.
Maybe it was a 3D representation.
They were solid because he stepped on the bottom two steps. They were solid. I'm telling you, they were solid. Or he learned how to hover.
What do you think would have happened if he'd gone up them?
To be honest, my spidey sense told me something that there was nothing good about him.
No. It's funny in all the stories you hear about that I've read about people's experiences and encounters, that it's never been good when somebody's gone up the stairs. There was even one that I had heard where somebody had gone to the top of said stairs, whatever shape that they were, and as they stepped off that top step, they were gone, like disappeared out of nothing.
Do I sound better now?
Yes, you do.
I figured out what was going on. The phantom power was turned off on my freaking board for my mic.
That's gonna do it.
Yep. I don't know how that happened. Me getting excited hitting buttons. I guess I hit the wrong button.
I'm wondering if these stairs in the woods are a 3D representation to another dimension or another world. I know how that sounds.
No, well, my thing is, why would they use it? Why wouldn't they just open up a big portal like everybody wants to talk about? Look, I don't know how many times I've had people try to convince me that Bigfoot uses portals and all this kind of crap. I can't say he doesn't. I've never seen Bigfoot use a portal. My thing is, if he can use portals, then why do people see him crossing the road and all
But
that?
if it's a safe example, it's something that's sinister. Like for example, there's like an alien that's putting a staircase there, yeah, and it wants to ensnare people or trap people, yeah. It's going to use something that's a familiar object to that person, like a staircase, albeit it's completely abnormal, would either frighten you or it would make you curious about what it was doing there, and make you want to go up them. And in this case, your friend wanted to go up them. But it's not something that at first sight you think, oh my god, there's a set of stairs, run, everybody run. You'd be thinking, what the hell?
No, we
maybe
walked all the way around this thing because I was trying to figure out
Yeah.
what the fuck is holding these stairs up.
But maybe it's the same. Maybe it's the same thing for like Bigfoot. Instead of a set of stairs, maybe it's I don't know, a treehouse or something.
I think both of you hit the nail on the head on that one. 100%. I mean, look at it like this. We as people live in a 3D world. I mean, you can go out to your car, you can reach over and grab a fork that might be next to you wherever you are, and it's a 3D representation. It's solid, it's real, you trust it, and you know it. So if I were an interdimensional being or a being from another planet, and I wanted to open a door to somewhere and have somebody come into it that would be one of our race, human, then I would put something that was familiar to them. I mean, we live in a 3D world, but I've also heard that, and I kind of actually believe, have a little bit of belief into it, that we are 4th and 5th dimensional creations. We just don't know how to use the power that's inside of ourselves. So I think you guys are 100% right with that, because we as a people need something solid in front of us, like a pole right in front of me. I'm going to touch it. It's there, and I understand it, and I know it. So why wouldn't a staircase or a door be any different? Because that's something that we deal with on a daily basis.
We are very curious by nature, and the same goes for a lot of animals. Actually, most animals are quite curious as well. A lot of hunters will use various tricks to trick an animal just through curiosity to come closer.
I've done it before, back when I was trying to get pictures of Bigfoot. When I would set my cameras up, I would always set something out probably 20 or 30 yards away from, right in front of the camera. Set a base station up or pheromone. I tried pheromone. I tried it. They will not. Now they'll go behind that camera. They'll go behind that tree. I even had them rip the cameras off before.
My dad, when he was hunting deer, he would stand at the edge of the woods at night and he would flash a white handkerchief from his pocket, and that would bring deer right up to him. Because they'd be thinking, what the hell is that? Maybe it looks like the back of a deer. They've got the white tail. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
but they just had to come and see what it was. If you stand, a good trick is to do it with like a horse. If you stand with your back to a horse and just pretend you've got something in your hand, the horse will eventually walk up to see what you've got.
Yeah.
You know, same with a dog or a cat. You know, they're all curious and nosy, really. By
Dice
nature.
is going down my belief. Whatever it is, like I said, it set my spidey sense off. Is what I call it. My vault sense off. Is like Kay calls it. I don't think nothing good was at the top of those stairs. I don't think nothing would come out good going up those stairs. I don't know. Like I said, I more than likely I've been wrong thousands of times before. I probably was wrong, but like I said, it's something about it just told me you don't want no part of that.
And that's a good thing. I mean, because from every story I've ever heard, it never turns out well. It really doesn't. And if there's any good stories about it, I haven't seen it.
Anything that I've looked up, I've never heard of anybody going to the top of the stairs, figuring out or seeing what happens, and then coming back down. I've never found nobody that's done it. I haven't. I'm not saying it's not out there, but I haven't.
You know, I think it's safe to say right here and now that we live in a weird world. We live on a weird planet, and it's not what we think it is. Whether you've had whatever kind of experience that you've had, there are so many things that we can't explain and we don't understand. I don't know that we will ever understand this, not in my personal lifetime anyway, but it's just strange. I mean, I almost envy the person who doesn't believe any of this stuff, because they get up, they go to work, they come home, they hang out with their family, they watch the evening news, and they go to bed, rinse, wash, repeat. I kind of envy that, because I don't live in that type of life, man. No. And as much as I'd like to be normal and not have what would be considered normal, I don't live that. I've got a spirit living in my house. I've dealt with spirits my whole life. I've had all kinds of strange shit happen to me. I don't want it, but it happens. And, you know, like for you, Paul, you know, seeing what you saw on that highway that night, man, that's just flipping odd. And everything that Vault has ever had to deal with. I think, you know, it's very healthy to say, hey, listen, it's okay if you don't believe, but this stuff happened to me. You know what I mean? And it's the only way you can explain it is your own way, you know?
I'd like to get Dice in here, because kind of like he's talked to somebody that knows a little bit more about stuff. I'd like to know more. Dice, you want to come
on, Dice? Come on, Dice. You're the newest member of the Chaos Army. You've probably been a nightmare for a long time. Get in here, buddy. Talk to us. Yeah. Click that link, because once you get into it, you might be nervous, but it's all good after you get in here.
No reason to be nervous. We're just all sitting around talking, thinking we're sitting on your front porch
shooting the shit.
Well, remember, if you remember that very first time that I talked to you and somebody else on that live stream, I was terrified getting into it, talking to you guys. I listen to you every Friday night. And once I get into it, I just had this want to get in there. Here I am, folks.
Now you
here
kind
Paul
of
is now. Yeah, you could say that. You know what I mean? It's, hey, you know, Paul's in here now. He's a veteran. You know what I mean? Come on in.
It's definitely a confidence thing with familiarity. The more familiar you are with it, the more confident you are about actually speaking.
I made us go left yet.
Yeah, actually, you know, we really haven't gone left yet. It may happen.
No, we haven't. Yeah.
But, I mean, hey, guys, get in here. Talk to us about what you got going on. That's what I would say. It might seem scary at first, but click that link, buddy. Get it on. You know, it's fun once you get in here. I love having conversations with people who believe things differently than I do.
Oh, shit. I'm going to kill fucking Lethal.
Oh, no. What's Lethal doing now?
Oh, no, he's not doing nothing now, but there is a fan under my desk, and I did not know it is heat controlled. So when it gets to a certain temperature, a fan just kicked on up under my desk and started blowing. I'm like, what the hell's touching me?
Oh, the Lords of Salem, they are a tricky folk, I'll tell you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
A fan come on up under my desk and started blowing.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
Are you a Doctor Who fan?
I used to be. I used to watch as a kid. I grew up with Doctor Who.
So
We used to watch it all the time, but not like the sort of the more modern recent ones. Not so much.
well, what do you mean by modern recent? Because there's a lot of episodes, like the newest
Yeah.
season.
What I mean is I haven't watched it in like I don't know 15 years or something. Yeah.
Oh, geez, okay, 'cause
so-
that's a whole bunch. Because I grew up on hey, my grandfather got me into Doctor Who when Tom Baker was Doctor Who, so I've been
Yeah.
kind of following it here and there. I was just wondering if you listened to the Guardian Who videos that I put out.
Yeah. I have been listening to him. Yeah, I have. Yeah, absolutely.
It's I hear the way you talk, your accent, and of course I've watched the whole Sons of Anarchy thing. So Tommy Flanagan, he's very Scottish, but it's I got it. I love that. But
Hey, hold on a second. Dice is trying to get has an issue. Hey, Dice, I got another way to get you in. If do you see my email? Email me your phone number, and I can actually call you and bring you in through that way.
I love technology.
Paul's just showing off now.
But I was just wondering if you had heard him, dude. It's very hard because
no, I have.
I'm not that good. I try because I've noticed that when I saw these stories and the author that wrote them gave me permission to do them, I went back and I watched all the David Tennant episodes because David Tennant is actually Scottish. He's not English.
Yes,
so he's got this like Scottish English accent going on. So I tried to mimic what he does, but I was just looking. I'm like, am I on the right track, or do I need to change it a little bit? I'm asking for some constructive criticism.
You know that Sean Connery used to speak like that, but then he had to train. He had to train his voice to sound different so that he could be understood. And
Sean Connery's the man.
Thus the whole sort of Sean Connery accent was born. But yeah, he never used to actually talk like that.
I like the old Sean Connery speak.
Billy Connolly, have you ever watched Billy Connolly? He talks about the same sort of thing. It was very difficult for him when he was trying to break into the American sort of comedy sort of market because people just couldn't understand what he was saying half the time, But then he eventually cracked it.
Who was that host? Damn. He had his own.
The Late Show. Is it Late Show?
Yes.
Yes. I know the guy you're talking about.
Man, I can't think of his name.
Conan?
No, it's not Conan. He was a Scottish. He was a Scottish from Scotland. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, dude, you can tell the way he does his stuff, his stand up, the way he talks on the show, man. Friggin' awesome. I mean, and it's got that little bit of like it's he's talking in himself and he hasn't had to change himself too much. I like that type of variant in the accent. It's pretty cool.
Dice, you gotta let me know when you get it when you send me an email.
Craig Ferguson, that's the guy you're talking about.
Yes, and he was great too. It's funny because he's in the How to Train Your Dragon series of movies and TV show. And Oakley always says, I like him. I'm like, yeah, me too.
Yeah, he's got a lot of charisma, that fella, actually. You kind of sort of, you feel almost compelled to watch him when he's talking there because he's got this charismatic sort of way about him, the late show, I think it was called, that he was on, that he used to host.
Yes. Yeah, the Late Show with Craig Ferguson. Yes.
Yeah.
I like, it's not so much his accent, it's just what he says and how he presents himself, which makes you really want to listen to the guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've watched a few of the shows, actually. Quite enjoyed them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. No, it sucks I have to go to bed so early, but I matey. Oh, wait, that was a matey. That was different, but... I've had too many PBRs.
I'm going to write a story with a Scottish person in it, just to get you to do it, Chaos, just to torture you.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to have to do some work then. All right, I got you.
I'll do a Scotsman, Englishman, and Irishman in the story for you, right? You'll have to do all three.
Well, you know what? If you're gonna do that, the way you write it, I want you to write it how they, how you would actually speak it. So that way, it gives me a better idea of how I can actually do the accent. But I'm gonna tell you right now, forgive me if I butcher it. Okay, I'm just saying.
No, but I wouldn't be too harsh on you.
Well, you know,
But,
it's funny.
Just for the laugh, I'll definitely throw something like that in at you just to keep you on your toes, you know.
Well, and I'm going to be very cryptic in this, and you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. But
Hey, hold on.
it's an old.
Hold on just a second. We're fixing to see if we can't bring Dice in.
Okay.
Hey, Dice.
No dice.
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Okay, Ruptured Duck's asking if you're was it a woven or a bakerite?
A what? Oh, I'm a bakerite, 100%.
A bakerite.
Can y'all hear Dice?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, Dice, how you doing, buddy?
All right.
Hey,
How's it going?
let me say first, before we do all this, thank you for subscribing to me. I really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Hey, you never know.
So-
I told y'all we got a bunch of tricks here at the Vault Show.
I like it. So what you got? What you got for us, Dice? What you got?
Oh, yeah. What subject? I didn't know what you wanted to talk about.
Dude.
Whatever. I mean, I actually can't see the chat, so whatever you got, throw it out there, man. 100%. We'll do the best we can with it.
Hey,
Well, I used to call this psychic Robert Petro. He's been on the David Letterman show a couple of times, but he's died now. But his daughter's still into all that. That was just a comment. He mentioned there were portals that the world.
Can all y'all hear Dice in the chat?
He's kind of fading out on me. It was a little hard to hear.
Yeah, I think that's on his end.
I caught the first bit, and then he just seemed to tail off a wee bit.
Yeah, something about Robert Heathrow, and then after that, he kind of cut it in and out a little bit after that.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if speakerphone might be better.
Yeah, you sound better right there.
Coming through really clear and loud there.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Anyway, I was saying Robert Petro was a psychic I had seen on the David Letterman show. And he said that the universe does stretch from time to time and that it will tear and it will create a portal. So there is such a thing.
I can see that.
It got me thinking. I saw that you sort of made that comment in the chat. It got me thinking because you can get like naturally forming like lakes or ponds, yeah, that have got no fish life in them whatsoever, and then eventually fish appear in them, you know, and obviously nature finds a way of bringing it in. So you kind of think, well, you know, how did life start on Earth? Obviously, something brought it here. You know, you can argue about what it was or how it began, but you know, it's like I think we get rained on from time to time, and it could be the universe stretching, it could be alien intervention, who knows? But there's definitely things appearing that otherwise wouldn't have just on the natural sort of order of things, you know.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
The skillet.
Your brain on drugs?
I can see that though. I mean, if you want to talk like wormholes, natural wormholes can be formed. It's something. I mean, if there's a door that's open, something's going to walk through, depending on which side, you know.
Well, I've seen portals and doors, not portals, but I've seen. I don't know what else to call them, but I've seen stuff open that other people have had to close. I don't know what I call them doorways. Some weird ass shit can come through them things, and bad shit usually comes through. Not good shit.
Well, what do you see?
Say what now?
What did you see come through that was bad?
I didn't actually see it when it came through. I was there for the aftermath when somebody else had to clean the mess up. People get to dabbling and doing certain stuff and what they're doing. You have to call somebody in to fix it. That's usually what happens. But like I said, that's not for me. That's not in my area of enough knowledge to speak on. I got a feeling there's going to be a show done on it.
You must be talking about a cult or something.
No.
Damn.
You realize a Ouija board, if the right person touches it or it's used in the right way, that opens a doorway, right?
Yeah, but you're talking about a physical one or a spiritual one?
I'm talking about, well, I don't know if it's spiritual, what you want to call it, but it opens the doorway. If the right person touches it or in the right, it's used in the right way, yes, they can open a doorway up. Whatever you want to call that doorway is whatever. But usually bad shit will be sitting on the other side of that doorway to come through.
Yeah, I've heard stories.
I've seen the aftermath of people doing stupid shit.
Well, there was also reports of, there are a lot of things that can open doorways too. Crowley was he was very vocal about what came through. He punched a doorway into something else. And when you open a doorway, where are you opening it to, and what's going to come through on the other side? I mean, there's a lot of people that seem to think that we were doing when the United States was doing all that nuclear testing out in the desert, that it might have punched the energy shot that that was thrown up because of that testing, might have punched a hole into something else, and flying saucers, and there are strange things opening up. It's kind of like an open-ended type of question if you think about it.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Well, you got to think too.
Well, it's. Go ahead, Walt. Go ahead.
You got to think too. People don't realize, and a lot of people don't know nothing about it. There's what you call ley lines that run all over the United States. If you get a hold of a powerful enough ley line, if you get into an area where there's a powerful enough ley line, that's raw energy right there to be used. And then let's say you throw in somebody that doesn't realize that they have abilities that they've never been trained with. They don't really realize they got them. And then, I'm going to give the Ouija board again, for example. They get to play on a Ouija board. Like I said, that's a recipe for really, really bad stuff. I'm not saying Ouija boards are bad or nothing, but I'm saying in the wrong hands, in the wrong spot, it could be bad.
I've heard about ley lines from dowsers.
There's ley lines in a lot of places, and that's another. That's a topic for another show. I just wanted to bring that out there.
Gotcha.
Well, here's something for you. If you're talking about ley lines and places of power, if I had watched a report on, how there are obelisks all over the world, different places in the world. We're talking like, we'll say Italy, France, the UK, Egypt, of course. They say that a lot of these obelisks are set on ley lines. And so that kind of begs the truth that if you want to go deep into like the Egyptian mythology, places of power, well, if you're going to have, say, okay, hypothetically, all right, the Great Pyramid, if that's a place of power, if that is your conduit, then you would want to place obelisks everywhere in the world where those ley lines meet, because now it's almost like you've got this kind of like power lines on Wi-Fi type of thing. It's going to connect these places type of thing. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, the pyramids are supposed to be some sort of like massive sort of power center for that.
there's somebody in the chat that for some reason I thought I recognized their name, but I wasn't for sure. But no, Darkness, I was the first one to comment, and I was the first one to watch it. Ha ha ha.
Oh, I remember from LeKay's video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay.
I was the third person.
You were the third? I thought I was the third.
I was the third.
Oh, you were the third, so I get to take fourth place on that one, right?
I was the third to comment, maybe not the third to watch. I think it was
well, I'm not talking about why. I'm talking about commenting. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I totally get where you're coming from on the whole ley line thing. Is that maybe it's this big connected kind of ancient natural Wi-Fi network that we have on this planet. That's why we have so many weird things in these places.
What do they used to use them for, though?
What was that, buddy?
What did the ancients use them for?
I'll tell you what I think. You've heard of alchemy, haven't you?
Yes.
Which is supposed to be turning lead into gold. Well, apparently that's not what alchemy is about. Alchemy was about basically prolonging your life. And one way to do that was to try and find a way of getting gold into your. So I'm getting.
I'm hearing a lot of background noise.
A lot of feedback there. One way of achieving that sort of immortality, so to speak, was to get gold into your body. Other way was to go into these like power centers, like the pyramids, and be rejuvenated through these power lines, these waypoints, what we would call them, way lines or
way lines.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was helicopter.
What's that? Again?
I said I'm sorry for the noise. That was a military helicopter. I'm actually near Fort Benning.
Oh.
Oh, really? Really? Okay. Have you seen any weird stuff in the sky?
Not really. Not lately.
Okay. Well, I had to ask. You know what I'm saying? If you're near a military base, I had to ask. But yeah, it's. I don't know. It's.
Hold on.
The way that it was explained to me is that if you have a starting point, we'll say the Great Pyramid in Giza is your starting point, and this is back in that time when you can use the natural energy of the planet that we live on. If you were to take an obelisk, something as it's almost kind of like a lightning rod, if you want to put it in normal terms, something like a lightning rod with the same type of runes, the same type of whatever they're going to put into it that will transfer power. It's almost kind of like a Wi-Fi type of thing. It's a natural energy. I mean, if you look in a lot of places where, you've got certain sightings, certain experiences, with, being of the paranormal aspect, and paranormal, I'm saying being, a very wide net, it's possible in that sense to be able to catch that net. So it's almost kind of like the power lines that run from house to house, from pole to pole. Instead of it being a physical representation, it's kind of just something in the air. And I know that statement leaves it really short, but it's the best way that I can of harnessing the natural energy around you at the most concentrated points. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I got a couple questions. Hold on for Dice.
Okay.
Where he said he was, I got a question. Are you military?
No, I'm a townie. You can just hear them, and they fly over all the time now. I don't know if it has to do with the COVID virus or what.
Now, do they still have the training area that's north of town?
I'm not sure. I used to deliver there on one of my delivery jobs, but I hadn't been there in years.
Okay. That was a hot spot. I'm going to say 10 or 12 years ago.
Yeah, I thought you were going to ask me that for a second because I heard something about that on Chronicles back in the 70s. Some guy got his chest ripped out near Harmony Church.
See, I've researched that area. Good.
Scary area to deliver to at night. Scary.
You heard any weird sounds?
No, I drove my car straight to my deliveries and straight back.
Yeah, they didn't know exactly
that was blamed on a bear at one time. That was blamed on a couple of mountain lions. But from what I was told and stuff like that, I don't think a bear didn't do it because the way the way a bear kills is not that way, and I don't think a mountain lion or nothing did it because a mountain lion usually attacks from behind. This guy, like I said, it looks like something just reached inside his chest and pulled his heart out.
It's interesting because I tried to look it up too, but I could not find any information on it.
It's not a whole bunch out there. Like I said, the only reason I know a good bit about it, like I said, I actually went and did some research and talked to some people because the MP. What's funny is the locals started investigating that, and then the military come in, the MPs and stuff took it over. That's the reason why you won't hardly find anything out there. The only thing that did get leaked out to the net when it came around was the stuff that the locals had. None of the stuff from the MPs stuff. There's like 2 photos out there. That's it.
Yeah, that sounds really suspicious to me.
And that's not the only one. Like I said, there's been several attacks supposedly Sasquatch in that area. Like,
I haven't heard of that now.
Well, that was way back then when that happened. To be honest with you, what I believe is a rogue one came around, or either one was out there at that test area and it probably was somewhere it wasn't supposed to, and somebody shot at it. Or they used to have a bunch of dogs out there. They sicked the dogs on them or whatever. I think this guy just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it was already in a bad teed off situation. But like I said,
it's really wild out there. I mean, there's a lot of animals. My friend was driving through there, and he saw about, I guess, 50 boar just cross the road right in front of him. And he's a hunter, and he wished he had a rifle. But yeah, there's all kinds of wildlife out there.
Yeah, so that's what I say. If there is one still there, it's not like it doesn't have, or even a couple of them. That could be a dozen of them out there. And there's plenty of food for them there.
Oh yeah,
and there's plenty of hiding spots. But yeah, I know exactly where you are.
Yeah, that's what really scares me about all these lately Dogman stories. I don't want to see one of them.
I have not heard of a Dogman in that area, but I don't do the Dogman research. I'll tell you right now, if I thought there was one there, I'd tell you to pack your crap up and leave. That's the down nitty gritty part of it. Like I said, if I thought there was one in here, I'd tell you. But like I said, now I found a lot of sign of. I never did see one there. I heard stuff and I saw evidence of it, but I never did see one while I was there. But like you said, you got to remember that area right there is heavily. You got choppers flying through. They do maneuver. They used to do maneuvers up there where, what do they call it? It was topographical maneuvers up there where they would teach the people how to chaos.
Sorry, I just wanted to do that.
Well, we've had our first face reveal.
Well, if you follow my social media, you know what my face looks like.
But like I said, there's a whole. I don't know if the activities is still as big as it used to be. But like I said, it's not like there's not a whole, there's probably 100 square miles up there in that area that the military at one time was using.
It is huge. It's a wasteland of trees, jungle life, whatever you want.
Yeah, back in the 70s, they used it for live fire. So there's no telling. That's another reason why they don't like people to go around up in there, because you may come across unexploded ordnances and crap. They used that for live fire up there. Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, that's cool. If you come across anything, you have Vault's number now. Don't hesitate to call. If I don't answer, it's probably because I'm in the woods somewhere. Usually when I'm in the woods, I don't have my phone on me because I've done that before and was almost in the area I want to go. Phone goes off and I got ran out.
Yeah, I used to go there all the time on deliveries when I was driving, but I'm a security guard at the local news station now, so I rarely go anywhere out of town.
Well, hey, if you across any snidbit of information, you hear at the news place, You can always give me a call.
I don't think you can let anything like that out in this town.
You never know what you never know what you can hear. You never know. Oh, my head take another trip. But like I said, it's been years since I've been up that way. Like I said, and everything. There's been matter of fact, part of that base was back whenever they were doing. Oh shit, I don't know how many years ago it was. They closed down a bunch of our bases. That base right there, only part of it was supposedly on the list to be shut down. Whether it did or not, I have no idea. It's been that long since I've been up there.
Yeah, I remember the area they said the Squatch incident took place, and Harmony Church was not far from there, but it was just really dead area, and I heard it was even worse when you got there. There was no light and whatever, so I wouldn't want to go there.
Okay. Lakaya told me she had to go.
What did I say?
Lakaya told me she had to go. It's been.
Oh,
Thank you for being here, Lakaya, and I'll holler at you sometime later, tomorrow, or whatever the case is. Almost is tomorrow.
Thanks, Lakia. See ya. Bye bye.
good night, sis.
But yeah, that's an interesting area up there because there was also a couple of 100 miles from that area. There was the big incident that happened where the couple was found. The guy was found a couple yards away from the vehicle, and he was all screwed up. The girl was drooped across the hood. I don't know if anybody else has ever heard this story. She was drooped across the hood, and like something had just beat her down into the hood.
Dang.
That happened back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, I heard that. Apparently, she'd been raped as well. Is that right?
Yeah, that was said. Whether it was now, I can't say that part was true, but that was in the report.
The boyfriend was found with his back broke. It was like something had bent him completely over in two, but the wrong way, and his back was completely broke.
Yep.
And she was found on the hood, dead and being raped, basically.
Chaos, what are you beating up?
I'm just moving around. I had to move into the house because it started to rain outside. So sorry about all the noise.
Oh no, I was just trying to figure out if you were ducking from Lady Chaos or.
No, she was just in here harassing me. So it's just my life, I guess.
But the guy was bent. Yeah, it bent him over the wrong way. Back of his head was touching his butt.
Oh,
was that in town?
Say that again.
Was that in town? I mean, near this town, or?
He'd taken his girlfriend out to out. It was in the woods somewhere, basically.
Yeah, well,
they were making out on the hood of the what do you call it? The hood of the car. We call it the bonnet.
Yeah, the hood of the car. It was like a 70-something model Plymouth, one of those long fucking hoods.
Yeah, and a Bigfoot came over, grabbed the male, basically snapped them in two, just as Volt described, and then raped the girl, who was obviously in a compromising position after her partner had been, making out with her.
He was tore up pretty bad, and like I said, I guess all that's going on, they said she was beat literally into the hood as far down as she could be beaten. It looked like she had pulverized her.
Oh, well, if you're talking like, oxygen tanks and everything like that, that kind of sounds right.
It looked like somebody had took it looked like the thing had just, smashing time had squished her down into the, beat her to a pulp. I don't know if the thing that one of the guys that the investigators were out there saying was because she had fought back, this thing took offense to it and went to wailing on her. I don't know. I know I seen the photos, and by the photos you couldn't see. I mean, you couldn't tell. I couldn't. Only reason I knew it was a person because it was clothes.
Seems like there might be hairs ripped off or something,
Well, back then, they're like I said, this happened in the late 70s, early 80s. I think it was actually 78 or 79 or something like that. I don't have my records here to be real accurate,
But back then, I'm talking about blood type was it was the biggest thing they could do. And I'm talking about that you got a bunch of local jokers that, like I said, think about the Andy Griffin show, and that's what you had out there investigating it. No, I was expecting to see Barney running around trying to put his bullet in his gun the whole time I was there. But like I said, that happened. It probably wasn't quite 100 miles from your location.
Well, that makes our area hot. I mean, it sounds like they're around.
Yeah, I know they were at one time. Though whether they still are or not, I can't tell you. I haven't got any stories out of that area in a long time.
Well, tell me this: where's the nearest location that you know of where there are dogmen? Is it Mississippi?
I know they're in Mississippi. I know they're in Arkansas, Louisiana. A little bit I know of in Texas, and then Oklahoma, the corner that touches where they call it's the Falk, close to Falk, Arkansas, which is I suppose there's been some sightings there.
What about Alabama?
For some reason, I do believe there was a couple of sightings. Yeah. You got the LBL.
Oh,
the land between the lakes.
Yep. Now I've been to the LBL several times. Now I've never seen Dogman, never seen any sign of Dogman, but they got some damn boogers up there that are. I think what they're saying in the LBL is a damn booger that is deformed in somehow. They're sometimes you get deformities in boogers. I'm talking about, and what I mean by that is they almost look like a caveman with Down syndrome.
Well, especially if they're raping women.
Well, I think it's because of, and see up there you get a lot of 6-toed tracks. I believe it's from inbreeding.
Oh.
But look, they got some mean SOBs up there. Yeah. Like they'll come off the bank, dive in, and jump on boats and barges and all kind of crap because there's two major waterways that go through the LBL. In the land between the lakes, it's literally there's an area up there, especially where I was going to. It's a couple of miles long and probably a mile wide island that splits 2 damn rivers. And dude, that is a hot spot and a half. Put it this way, don't go there and not expect to have at least one bad encounter. I guarantee you're gonna have way more than that.
So you've actually seen one? I mean, actually up close.
Yeah, I've seen several up close. Hey, Chaos. Chaos has seen a video where I was probably 10 feet away from one.
What?
Yeah. It's one of those things that you kind of don't know what you're looking at until you really see it, and then you still don't know, but you know what you're looking at. If that makes any sense at all, because that's kind of how it's kind of how my mind kind of processes something like that.
Could you see the face any?
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's weird. I like with my own Squatch sighting. I saw what I saw. I know what I saw. I know what I was looking at. Me and the other dude were looking at each other right in the eye. But there's always, for some odd reason, a shadow. And it's the same thing with this video. You can see what you're looking at. You can see the face. And I didn't necessarily believe it myself until, even though Volta told me, there's a little bit of skepticism there. But when he shows me the video, it's literally kind of looks like something out of the movie Dog Soldiers. Not so much the body, because it was like this lanky type of thing in the movie, but the face, it just, whoa. You know what I mean? It kind of, whoa. That's all I can say.
You just what I can describe the reason why people have a lot hard time seeing the face is take a gorilla and take one of those big industrial like mops, floppy mops, and put that on top of his head like a wig, and it kind of comes down over its face. And
yeah,
a shaggy dog. I forgot what they call it. You can't really see the dog's face, all the hair. they can see because they can run around, catch all kind of crap, but you really can't see their face. That's kind of like these things. I've seen two or three that their face, the hair was kind of gone from around like that, and I don't know if it's from age, if they caught in the mange. I don't even know if they can catch the mange, but whatever. Like I said, but the hair was it was kind of patchy all over them, and usually those are ornery ones. But yeah, I've been right up next to one, not intentionally now. The one that he's talking about, I'd actually crawled. I was on my hands and knees crawling through a thicket that was probably 20 yards deep to come across. I was trying to take a shortcut, and my shortcut wound me up right into. Basically, I was in their living room.
Whoa!
And it was standing there to my left, and I kind of like just turned like. I bet you they went this way. I don't know if they can understand this or not, but just in case they can, I was in you can hear me a bit. I bet you it went this way. I turned immediately to my right and walked back off, right up the side of that bramble bar bush crap I just came through, and I could hear it behind me. It followed me all the way back out. It made sure I left. And I believe there was more than one because I found 3 different sets of tracks.
What does the LBL stand for?
Land Between the Lakes.
Land Between the Lakes. Okay. Yeah.
Did you guys hear the story about the family that got killed up there by the Dogman?
Yep. I've heard that story.
That's a hell of a story, that.
Yeah. Paul, I thought you had left. I hadn't heard from you in so long. I was where'd you go?
Just listening.
But there's another area that's let's see, it's on the Trail of Tears. It's on the it's up in crap. I can't think of the damn state now, but it's up in it's up in the edge of Arkansas. They call it Booger Central up there. The dude there was a guy that got killed up there. The story has been told so many times, and people get the area wrong. But this guy was out sighted in his rifle. He just got a 300 Weatherby Magnum, and he went out to sight in his rifle at this rock quarry. And nobody heard. He was gone for several hours. It then got dark. His wife started calling around to see if any of his friends or anybody, family members, knew where, if they'd seen him. Well, she finally then calls the local law and says, "Look, my husband went down to such and such. They didn't inhabit the one ride, so she couldn't go down and check him." She calls a local law or sheriff's department up there, so they go down to the area where he's supposedly at. They find his truck, and the lights on inside the truck. So they walk up there to look in the truck, and the dude is in the truck. The thing is, he's been folded in half and stuck back in the truck.
Well, I heard that on the Chronicles. That's right.
Yeah, like I said, that happened up in the. Like I said, sometimes people get the area right. So a lot of people, it's been that same story is supposed to happen in like 4 different states. I've got the actual paperwork on that story because 3 different. They even got the FBI involved in that because they sent blood work and all that off because supposedly what had happened was he was sighting his rifle in because they found the shell casings and all that. And they actually found the rifle broke back up on the hill about where he was when he was shooting. There was 5 shells. Well, in his target, there's only 3 damn rounds. There's 2 rounds that's going to count it for.
Yeah.
Now, some people say that, that was the first 2 he shot and he'd missed the target. Anybody that sights in a rifle doesn't sight in a rifle like that. The way you sight in a rifle, you sight it in real close to get it on paper. Then you back off and you bring it back. You zero it in. You bring it down closer to your target area that you're looking for. And the 3 shots on paper were within 2 inches of each other. And they started it, at the. For anybody, if you're looking at a bullseye, they had hit high and he had walked them down to the last round, if I remember right, was like 1.5 inches away from the bullseye. Now we're talking about 300 Magnum, and his target, I think, was around 100 yards away from him. There's still a lot of rise in the bullet. They believe because they found blood back up the hillside from the target he was shooting at, up on the hillside, they found a lot of blood.
You think it took the rounds and walked off?
I think it took the round. There were some other ones around, and I don't know if it walked off. A 300 Weatherby Magnum is a bad round, especially in within 100 yards. If that round hits a bear, it will knock it down within 100 yards. Now, I don't know if it killed it or what. I don't know that. They found a whole bunch of odd tracks. Supposedly there was some casting done, but I've never seen any of the castings. Where it happened to, excuse me, I have no idea. I've read a report from the local sheriff's department. I read a report from 2 different FBI agents. That one was a local that was actually friends with one of the I think it was the sheriff of that area, that he'd called in, and then when he sent his paperwork in, they sent somebody else out. And they did an investigation. Now, his I didn't read. Now, I read another guy's that what got me involved in it. Another guy that does Squatch investigations, Bigfoot investigations. I read his, and it got me real intrigued because some of the stuff, like I said, they found him in his truck, folded in half. His stomach was touching the back of the seat, and his legs were up against the steering wheel.
Ugh. And they didn't test any of the blood for DNA, or it was too long ago.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Supposable evidence was taken from that. There was pictures showed there was blood. I'm talking when I said there was blood, it looked like somebody had lung shot a large animal in it, because you could tell in the blood. For people that don't know, when you lung shot an animal, there's little bubbles that'll form. It's foaming. It looks like if you take and blow bubbles in milk, have foam.
Right.
Well, the lung shot animal, when it bleeds out, that foam will be in that blood, and it's like it was everywhere.
Another detail that's often missed, like you hear this from like people that, like, for example, hunt bear. Yeah, when they shoot a bear, after you've hit the bear, you have to remain still and silent, because if the bear gets a bead on where you are and hears you, as it's lying there dying, it'll become adrenalized, and it'll get up and it'll come after you and it will kill you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think? So what do you think one of these things is going to do?
Yeah, and I'm telling y'all, I've only seen a couple by themselves. Usually, if you see one, there's probably 2 others or more that you don't see. They're there. I don't know why they do that, and they don't just bunch up. They'll be scattered out. I've even got to see these things do a hunt. It was not where I wanted to be when I seen the hunt. and that's like, tell people, all these people, when you see these shows, they go out and knock on trees and stuff. What I saw, that's another reason why I don't do crap like that, because these things wasn't hollering back and forth. They kind of lined up down this hillside, and a couple ran deer down this hillside, and as they would pass, you would hear clunk, clunk, clunk. And, these things were slapping. It wasn't hitting it with a stick. They were slapping it with their hands, the trees. I could see them because I was looking through them through a scope. I was a couple of 100 yards on another hillside, because when I first heard it, I heard and a bunch of crap going on. I'm like, what in the hell? And that got my attention, and all of a sudden I caught movement on this hillside. So I started looking through it, trying to figure out. To me, it sounded like a dying moose. This is exactly what it sounded like. And that was these. And then all of a sudden, I'm talking about a herd of deer, probably 15 of them, come over this hill, just getting it. I'm talking about they were tripping, falling, and one of these things reached out and grabbed one of these damn deer and just snatch it up like you reach down and snatch a bug off the ground. And they were slapping the side of those trees back and forth. I don't know if it was to herd the deer to keep them going down that way, if it was to let them know, hey, they're coming. All I know is they were slapping them trees, making those knocking noises, and they were hunting deer. So I associate them, that knock crap, with them hunting. So Vault don't do that. Because I don't want to think, hey, Uncle Phil's over there, he got a hunt going on. I'm going over there, I'm hungry. Well, I'm sitting over
there. At the end of the day, you think that it's always just going to be covered up by the government or somebody.
I can tell you right now, it will be. I said there's a law on the books that guarantees it to be.
What does it say?
There's a hominid law that says if you kill, molest, harm, take photos of a hominid animal, and the government finds out about it, especially if you kill one of these animals, they can come take all of your evidence, take the body, take you, put you in jail, fine you, and basically you have no proof no more. And I said you can go look up the federal hominid law. It'll blow your mind.
So why do you think they're doing it? You're saying mass hysteria? Is that why?
Because think about it. If they actually, there's too much to be lost. Or we're going to use this pandemic that's been going around. It didn't take much to keep people inside, did it?
No.
All right. If they come out and said, okay, yes, these animals are in the forest, they are out there. You know, if you go into their area, you piss them off, they can kill you because, like I said, they can kill a Kodiak grizzly bear with their hands or paws, whatever you want to call it. The logging industry automatically they're going to set up certain areas. They have to by law. They're going to set up certain areas to for dang it. Hold on a second.
That reminds you, just listening to what was saying there, Chaos, that reminds you of the matriarch.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Right, they're going to set up.
Well, I mean,
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, don't be. All I was going to say was that it's kind of like, for me personally, you know, if they were to say that, you know, hey, Bigfoot's out there, he's in the national parks, you know, if they really just come out and say something like that, you're going to have two things that are going to happen. First, you're going to have all those families, you know, all of that money, all those people that just want to go out and enjoy Mother Nature and in the wilderness, they're not going to do that anymore. So you're going to lose that money. So the money that's going to be coming in is all of these people that want to hunt it and kill it and bring a body in. And now you've got a bunch of people out there and they're just going to be shooting at everything they see. And there's going to be a lot more loss than, say, Bigfoot, as opposed to other people shooting other people.
What's going to happen is that like I said, it's going to affect the economy even more than what this other has, because all right, all the toilet paper everybody's been trying to bulk up on everything. You're going to find somewhere to get that somehow, because that's going to kill the logging industry. Because first thing they're going to do is they're going to go in and set so much land aside that you can't touch. You can't go on. You can't touch. That's their refuge. The other thing is how many people, once they come out and say, yeah, there's up to a 10-foot tall, 1,000-pound ape out there. Like I said, that if you piss it off, it can pick your car up, roll it over, rip your doors off. It can come into your house. It don't have to use the door. It can go through the wall. How many people do you think are fixing to move out of the woods? The cities are going to get crowded. Nobody's going to go hiking or fishing or none of that crap. Now, one thing that is going to start up, you're going to see a large sale of guns and ammo, and you're going to see a large supply of people go missing.
I'll tell you another thing, which is quite, I think, a little bit disturbing, was that there's evidence of Bigfoot inhabiting like abandoned houses or homes where people have been. Yep. You know, they may have a second home somewhere and it's sat empty for a long time, and they actually use those houses, and they don't break in through the door, or they don't make a hole in the wall. They actually burrow underneath and come up through the floorboards.
Yep. I found a couple of places way back in the wood, what I call, pioneer shacks, and I'm talking about, there's no land. I mean, there's no roads, there's no nothing. When I say these old places are back up in the woods, why they were built there and they just left, I don't know. What standing, like I said, you'll find usually there's a kind of a dugout spot under one of the walls or whatever, like Paul saying, and it looks like something built a giant rat nest in there. I ain't talking about no. I'm talking about it. Think of taking 4 bean bags, putting them together in one little area and making you a little nest out of it. That's about as big as I'm talking about. So
I never heard that before.
So
I never even thought of the possibility.
Next time you're lying there in bed and you think you hear a noise and you're wondering if you shut the door or locked it or the window, think about whether how thick your floorboards are.
Or if you got a concrete or a wooden floor. I've heard these things coming through people's floors after people.
Great. That's awesome. That's just going to add to the fun.
I also have seen where they reached up into a window.
Cool sound effects.
So what you're telling me is that Bigfoot plays dubstep as he comes through your floor.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm getting into? Because if that's the case, then I'm banning that shit from my house.
No.
So
I dropped my lighter on this board and it set off two of the fucking buttons at the same. That was two buttons at the same time that I have no idea what they are. So.
See, I never would have thought that Bigfoot and dubstep would be connected somehow, but you just did that for me.
But I've seen where one of these things reached up. Now this window is over my head. They reached up into this window through the windowsill and just pulled the wall out.
We just live with Bigfoots. We got lizard things walking around, and we got Dogman. I guess we got to live like that.
Well, it's not. Like, people don't realize Bigfoot's been here and been around here. It's not like they just showed up back in the 50s or whatever, 40s or whatever, when it first got dubbed Bigfoot. They've been around here and been here for hundreds of years. All the Native American tribes have stories about them, from one coast to the next coast. In a lot of these tribes never spoke to each other, so how would they have the same creature in their stories? And then you got it's been proven now that the Vikings were actually the first ones here, not Christopher Columbus. He tells stories about battling the hairy man.
Yeah.
There's actually quite a few accounts of when settlers came to the Americas for the first time to settle from Europe and having run-ins with Bigfoot and having to go deal with them. Yep. And they were actually eating people at that time.
Yeah, they still will do that. they haven't stopped doing that.
No, I know, mate, but it was obviously, there's a lot more population in America now, and there are a lot more wary people. But back then, you were fair game.
Yeah, and see, I don't know. I think it's because they have learned. I think they have learned the more that they have interactions with us. Like if they go up to, let's say, if they go into the edge of Dice's town where he lives at, attacks a house, leaves enough sign that they know, hey, this was not a person, this was an animal. They're fixing to be hot on that animal's trail, and they're going to bring a lot of heat on themselves. Like I said, I think the people that do get to be a Bigfoot burger are the ones that are off the beaten path, or actually go out trying to mess with them and get themselves in a stupid situation. Because I'm telling you, if you piss one off and you don't fucking get out of the way or get back to where you can give it its space, it's going to take its space. And they're opportunist animals. They don't just kill something and leave it.
Have you heard of the government kill teams?
Yep.
Do you believe in them? I know how they sound realistic to you.
I don't know how to answer that question without getting myself in trouble.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard about that too.
I think you kind of have to think that something like that will go on. I mean, you've got a majority of these creatures that wouldn't bother a person. They would rather go the other way, or they would just be curious and watch if they know that they couldn't be seen. Yeah. But it's not out of the realm of thought that the government would have kill teams to go out there and take care of the ones that would be problems and would attack people. I mean, for me personally,
I know I can say this without getting in trouble because I said it before and nobody said nothing to me. I know for a fact that there's a list that if something, let's say in your area, that they have some kind of weird occurrence or whatever. For some reason, they bring in animal experts and stuff like that, or the government, and there's a list that they will call in someone like me to come out and investigate it to let them know, all right, is this something they need to be worried about, or is this, wreck bear or something like that. I know there's a list like that because I'm on one of those lists.
Chaos has got an interesting story on his channel about it's like army sort of special forces unit that goes and hunts them. Haven't you, Chaos?
Yeah.
I do, as a matter of fact. I think it's called Alpha Bravo.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know where.
Yeah.
I don't know where he got his information for that.
I know some guy sent it to me in my email. I just thought it was cool and I did it.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But like I said, I know for a fact that list, and I don't know who all is on that list. I know I'm on one. I don't know how many lists there are, but I know I'm on one because I did a show about it where I was called out to a place. I don't know if y'all remember that because I took a giant ass skitter because they wouldn't let me bring a foiler in there. Or gun.
If you can comment on that list, I was wondering if you could comment on this. I heard, and it's okay if you can't, but I heard that there was a list that the kill team keeps different types of creatures with different numbers and letters representing each creature, and even the Dogman was on there. Have you heard of that kind of a list?
Next question.
I got you. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying there was a guy that we used to talk to that was supposedly on one of those lists as those kill team members.
We might not want to go there.
No? Okay.
But like I said, yeah, I get called out to an investigation. I don't know. Like I did a little improv stream to this while I was on location because it pissed me off. I'm talking about you called me in because you're having a bad time with a very violent animal of some kind. It's more than 5 or 6 miles back across through there of rough ground. There's trails now, but I can't carry a ATV or nothing in there. No, I know I couldn't drive the beast back there. It was only all-terrain vehicles. Well, Vault is always buying weird shit. I don't know if anybody knows what a skidder is. It's hard to explain what a skidder is, but it's got bulletproof glass made into it because it's made for logging. It's got this big grapple on the back of it that'll pick up your car and like it'll tow it off. I can reach and grab the back of a semi truck, load it, and I can drag it. And it's got a big blade on the front of it. Well,
it's kind of like the skidder because I remember the video that you put up.
Think about
and I also remember the video that you sent me privately.
Yeah.
And because he just calls me out of the blue, FaceTime one day, and it's all like this sound. He's like, "Hey," I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm driving a skidder somewhere it shouldn't be," and I'm like, "Okay, this is gonna be interesting." Yeah. And basically, a skidder's kind of like one of those like I see them all the time. I can't think of the name, but it's kind of like a front loader. It's like this giant 4-wheeled vehicle with a top cab, and in my area they have like a giant scoop on the front of it where they would remove snow or dirt or something like that. A skidder is kind of like that, but only with different plumbing, more or less.
And then on top of it, I couldn't bring any weapons because they didn't. It was a reserve. It was a no kill. I'm like, okay, what if this thing tries to eat me? So, like I said, I got the bright idea. Hey, this thing is bulletproof. I know, like you have to crawl up a ladder to get into this thing. That's built onto the side of this thing. The tires are about 10 foot tall. It is, like I said, I had to send you a picture, Paul, of one of it. But anyway,
can I look it up?
Yeah, you can look a skidder up. Look up a Caterpillar 545 skidder. And you'll know what I'm talking about.
In Scotland, a skitter is a completely different thing altogether. It's someone, let's just put it this way, someone having a bad time in the toilet. You know?
Ooh, that's tough.
Well, I can hit your house with this thing and go through it and never slow down. It's basically a big old dozer with rubber tires that in the middle. But anyway, I'm out there with that. Yeah, they had a big problem, and I think they had more than one kind of big problem, because what they did not tell me until after I done got out there and come back, because I'm finding dead hogs laying everywhere. I'm talking about just everywhere. And I go back and I talked to him. I was like, dude, what's up with all the dead pigs everywhere? He said, oh, for the last month, we've hired out this chopper crew, and we got sharpshooters. They're going around shooting wild hogs in here because we got an overrunning population. Okay, how many wild hogs? What are y'all doing with them? Because I've done seen like 15 back there just laying there. He goes, oh no, we've killed 1,600 in the last month. And yeah, we're not allowed to move them. We shoot them and let them lay where they are. I said, you do realize every predator within 100 miles of there is going to wind up finding that crap. Let's say you got a predator, a big predator, that 25 miles from there. That smell is eventually going to go upwind. They're going to find it. Now, like I said, Bigfoot is an opportunist animal. Dogman is an opportunist animal. And there's no telling what else out there. Lizard man, I don't know that much about him. I'm pretty sure he's not going to pass up a fresh dead hog laying there. And some of these hogs, man, they had a picture of one that was on a 16-foot trailer that was almost as long as the trailer. It was probably an 8 or 9 foot damn hog.
Yeah, there's evidence of them raiding fish feed that are full of steroids, and then of course they get huge, don't they? Because they've been eating the steroids.
Yep, and see, they got like I said, there's no hunting on this place. The only predators they have is man or watches or whatever. And like I said, the man, there were 1,600 hogs, in a month, 30 days. They left them laying out there.
Yep, that's actually a real problem. And when you actually look at a lot of hunting channels on YouTube and that from America, people hunting hogs, they talk about it a lot about how big they're getting. Mm-hmm. So if they're getting big because of what they're eating, how big are the things that are eating them getting? You've got to wonder.
Dean, give that man a cookie. That's exactly the same thing I thought. All right, if whatever they're eating is causing them to get bigger, whatever's eating them is apparently going to get the same crap. It should get bigger. You know what Vault did immediately after that? This is another thing I called Chaos about. He calls me back and says, well, how'd it go? I said, I'm loading my shit up and leaving. They got a bad problem that they created, and I don't know how the hell they're going to fix it other than it'll fix itself. They'll stop killing.
Well, with the whole hog thing, that became porkopolis. Porkopolis. Apocalypse only with pork. I can't speak it for some reason. But I know what you're talking about. And the funny thing about that is that video that you sent me privately was that as you're going down through this area with the skidder, you got the camera, you got your cell phone right there. And we're on FaceTime doing this stuff. And dude, as he's going through, he's going around a corner, and I see a shadow pass through, and I'm pretty sure that I saw a hairy leg going as it just kind of went off into the woods. So yeah, the area was pretty active.
Yeah, because like I said, there's no roads. There's a little trail that's big enough for a 4-wheeler. Because I was bumping into trees and knocking trees over this big ass damn thing. That was
pretty cool.
Yeah, they got pissed about that because you tore up the land. So you wouldn't let me if you'd let me run the beast down through there, I wouldn't have tore up as much shit. But anyway, they created a problem. That's what I'm talking about. People creating problems. They created a big problem right there. And like that, I was on one of the lists that got called about. And dude, that man, I heard a bunch of bad stories coming in that area about people getting run out of their house. There was one where a house trailer, a single wide house trailer, was shoved off its blocks. You realize how strong something has to be to shove a trailer off its blocks?
Well, I know I couldn't do that.
You're talking about something that's like 40 foot long and 16 foot wide. It's on blocks. It's a house. Yes, it was on wheels when they brought it in there, but they done jacked it up and set it on blocks. There's blocks sitting about every probably 4 to 6 foot down through there. But it pushed it off the blocks.
I don't think you have to go back to work, but I was going to ask you something. You think you could, since you got my email, I mean, can you email me that footage of the one you got or anything?
I'll have to dig it back out. That was on another computer that had an accident on purpose, but yeah, Vol has a slight temper when, especially with computers, with technical stuff. When it doesn't work, it might go flying out the window. It might catch a bullet.
Right wing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Well, if you can find any footage, I'd really appreciate seeing some.
That's no problem. Now, that's something I don't do real regular. It's because, like I said, I can send you a HD picture of 10 feet away from one, and 9 times out of 10, it's going to be blurry because I'm moving. Anybody that stands still and takes one, that's probably not a real one, because or it's so far away, because I'm so far away, it's going to look like a blob standing out there. Or what? That's the reason why I don't do a whole lot of photos and stuff like that. And I haven't, because, like I said, it looks like a lot of the other crap you see, blob squatches, and then some are just damn trees and shit just in the videos. But I'll see what I can find and send to you. All
right, you got my address. Maybe it'll get better with these drones and stuff. Somebody can get a really good picture.
I've got a drone. I don't know how to fucking use
it. You know, it's funny that you mentioned drones. It's funny because there's been so much. I mean, you know, it's really easy for people to say that's fake. I don't believe in that when you show pictures of that. And we were talking about this stuff earlier. Is that now, you know, we're still going into areas
hold on.
Where we would what's up?
Hold on 1 second. Did you say you had to go back to work?
Yeah, thanks, fellas. I'll go ahead. I just want to say thanks first. I'll be polite,
right,
and I'll head out right now.
All right. Good night.
Cheers, man.
See you later.
See ya.
All right. Good night, guys. Thanks for coming in, man.
Good night, buddy.
Absolutely.
All right. Didn't mean to interrupt you. I just didn't want him to get in trouble by hanging around jabbering.
Oh, no worries.
As you were saying, Chaos.
Oh, well, I mean, it's stuff that we were talking. This basically it was something that you mentioned earlier, Paul. Is that, you know, we're seeing a lot of this stuff, and there are a lot of experiences because we're going into a lot of different areas. Some areas we shouldn't be in, that we don't even know that we shouldn't be in. Because now the fact is that in this day and age, people are carrying cell phones, and it's basically a computer and a digital camera in your pocket, and people are thinking, "Oh shit, I got to get this on film." So we're getting a lot of pictures, we're getting a lot of videos of a lot of different things, and it doesn't matter if it's, you know, of Sasquatch or Dogman or aliens or ghosts or anything like that. The world is so wired and connected now. People are getting a lot of stuff on video, and half to three quarters of the stuff that people put out there could be absolutely genuine footage. But they're not going to believe it. Well, that's grainy. Oh, they were moving. It must be a hoax. It must be set up like that. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, that's not the case. People are scared, like Vault just said. If you could be 10 feet away from one of these things and have the best picture you could and best line of sight you could, you're going to be moving because you're scared, because you're literally coming up against a monster from our own personal beliefs. Yeah, and you're going to be moving and try to snap that picture, and you know, people are like, "Oh, that was a hoax. You're just trying to sell us something." So
I think.
Go ahead, Paul.
Sorry. I think the way you've got to kind of look at it is like, imagine you're driving in your car, right, and all of a sudden there's a crash in front of you, right, and you're involved in that. You're going to have to take evasive action to avoid that crash. Yeah. Now, there'll only be a few moments for you to react, but they'll feel like it stretches right out. But in that time, not once would you think, "Oh, hang on, I'm going to get my phone in my pocket and I'm going to video this." Yeah.
Do y'all know?
And that's the criticism that people, you know, often get when they say they've seen something. They go, "Well, why didn't you film it?" It's like, well, it happened so fast that, and you're caught up in the moment. You were frightened. Your adrenaline was pumping. The last thing in your mind was to pull your phone out and actually start filming it and go, "Hey, look, everyone! Just to prove what I've seen here. Look, there's a Bigfoot or there's a Dogman. It's about to eat me." You can thank me later.
I got two good examples of exactly what you're talking about, Paul. I've been on investigations with people that supposedly have been in the Bigfoot community and researchers for a while. And we get into an area and I start doing my thing and we get closer and one of these things run across the opening or scream at us. They look up, see it, and they haul ass the other fucking way.
Yeah.
I got a better one for you. Do you know why most police departments have went away from every kind of pistol except for a Glock? Because when the safety is in the trigger. That's the biggest reason. Because a lot of officers wind up getting shot because during the heat of the moment they pull the weapon, point it, and they're steadily squeezing, but they forgot to kick the safety off.
Yeah.
Because your mind isn't working.
Totally believe that. Yep. And it's the training. It's the constant training that actually saves their life because they do it without thinking. It's like when you drive your car, you're not actually thinking about moving the gear stick or the shift stick or what your feet are doing. You're doing it automatically. But if you're having to think about it, and then all of a sudden you're presented with an emergency situation, or it could be life and death, all that goes out the window. So unless you've done the training, it's just what you're saying, Bolt. Your mind goes blank, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm talking about it's much back when in my younger days, my fastest reaction time was about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean in 3 seconds I'm out putting rounds down range. That means in 3 seconds I've realized there's a target, and to react to that target, it probably takes really in real time. I'm figuring 6 to 8 seconds before you realize your brain realizes you see what you see, your brain processes it, says, okay, that's a target or danger, and your body to react. And like I said, nobody nobody I know of that has ever been out squat and run up on one is like, oh, I got to get a picture of you. No, they freeze usually, and they get screamed at or shit thrown at them, or they get grabbed. Like I said, the one that I came out with, like I said, it probably wasn't 10 feet, but it damn sure felt like it was about 10 feet from me. And I caught it out of the corner of my eye. I knew from experience not to look at it. I actually turned my head the opposite direction, put my back to it, and walked away. Because I acted like it was not even there. A lot of people are like, oh, no, man, ain't no way in hell you took. Yeah, I did too. I had faith in myself that what I knew, it would not, it could have attacked me from behind. There's nothing, even if it attacked me from the front, there was nothing I could freaking do.
Yeah. I think in a lot of these cases, though, if you're hearing it and seeing it, it's because it wants you to hear and see it.
Yeah.
If it wanted you, you wouldn't get that opportunity.
Like I said, I've been in areas where they play peekaboo with you, what I call peekaboo behind a tree, where they kind of lean back and go on sway back and forth, and they'll be behind a tree, but they'll be off from you, and they'll make different noises. And almost some of the littler ones, the littlest one I've ever seen moving around by itself. I've seen a big one carrying something that I thought was a little one, probably 2 foot long, probably a baby still. Now I can't tell you if that's what it was because the way it scooted off, I didn't get that good a look at it. But I've seen one probably about 4 to 5 foot tall, and it would make a noise. And trust me, there were several other bigger ones right there with it, so it wasn't worried about nobody coming to bother it. But it was making that weird noise, and I don't know if it was making that noise to communicate with them or to get my attention to see what I would do. And there's too much unknown.
That's why we have these talks, to try to figure it out in our own way, and maybe we can come up with some answer. You know what I mean?
I've been in that same area. Didn't even get probably 50 yards away from from the beast, and all of a sudden you hear but it's a different. I can't make that noise because I can't go up in the octave and the volume, but it feels like you're standing right in front of one of those big huge stage concerts, and somebody just hits a low bass note. The vibration feels like it just, it's like, God damn. And all of a sudden, then you see a tree get pushed over. To me, to me, and I ain't saying this what it means to everybody or to what they actually mean. To me, that means, hey, we ain't in the mood for you today, so get back in what you just came in and leave.
Yeah, we're having a picnic. We don't want you here. You should go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're either blocking your entry or they're blocking your retreat.
I came up on a road that I went in several times, and it wouldn't be just one big tree. It would be, I ain't talking about bushes or little trees. I'm talking about shit that I would have to cut up before I could hook the beast to it to pull it out of the way, because I couldn't. There ain't no way I could move it that would have been dragged across the road. I've also been in an area where something put some stuff in the road behind me, like it was trying to keep me in there.
Damn, that don't make you feel no better.
But
that's when you know you're in trouble. Shit.
Yeah. Like I said, that the beast come in handy because it was small enough. And see, I think that was done by smaller juveniles or whatever. And I don't think they were doing it trying to keep me in there. What I think they were doing was just doing what they'd seen other ones do, because it made me leave. But instead of putting it in front of my vehicle, they put it behind my vehicle. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all.
It does. Maybe not doing it exactly the way they. Yeah, I get where you're going with that.
We're talking about still, like I said, the trees I'm talking about, they put in the road to block me from going in. I couldn't put my arms around. One they put behind me, and I'd already been in there a couple of hours, and they decided to come back out and was actually going to go around to another road and go into a different way to see if I could come in, because I didn't win as far as I could go, I thought, without teeing them off. So I was going to try to come in from another direction. And when I got back there, I started back out. These are probably, I don't know, size of a trash can. I could easily drive over them with a beast. I just drove over. Like I said, but still, though, I don't believe I couldn't have picked them up moving them. Like I said, like I said, they just do weird things. I found little stick structures. I found big, huge ones. It's like, there ain't no way wind did that. There is no way wind put 12 damn trees together to almost make this looking teepee looking thing. And then right in the middle of it, there's one that had none. These are not cut. None of this stuff is cut. It looks like it's been just pulled out of the ground because there's still roots attached to it. It's kind of like teetering, like a seesaw, kind of almost right across it. The wind don't do that.
I've heard accounts of the alpha males ripping up trees and then driving them into the ground like a pile driver would.
Yep, I don't know. I don't know if it's just males or females do it. Yeah, but it'll be everything from a tree the size of a Coke can all the way up to something 12 inches around, and it'll be shoved in the ground a good ways. It ain't like they just poked it in the ground. It's been uprooted, turned upside down, and shoved back in the ground like it grew that way.
You think of the strength that would need to do that. It's unbelievable. And that would literally just tear you limb from limb.
Yeah, and I've had these things, man, do some weird stuff where they'll let you walk right by them. Won't move. You won't even realize you done it. I've done it. I was going to a place to actually go on a hunt. Because Walt used to be big into hunting, and I was going on a hunt. I think I told you a story before where I come down this little road, and the guy told me, he said, when you get to the fork, you turn to your left, you go a little ways up there, and there's a stand up there. Go get in that stand. Well, when I get to the fork, right there, almost in the fork, there's a big burnout looking tree, probably, I don't know, 6 foot tall. It looks like, it's just a big, and now you got to remember, it's dark, and it's barely enough light out that you can see the ground. I was like, why didn't he just say go to the burnt tree and take a left? Well, I get up there. I'm up there in the stand, and the light has came up. And I'm probably a couple of 100 yards away from where I just walked. And that big burnout tree looking thing I just walked by got up and walked the fuck off.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I remember hearing a story. The fella was in the woods. He was with a couple of other people, and they were actually trying to call to Bigfoot, and they were on a forest path, and the path was a little bit elevated, and down. So like, if you were to walk off that path, you'd walk down into like really dense, sort of like thickets and shrubbery, and then there's all the trees around you. And one of them managed to get a thermal camera going. And they're thinking that the Bigfoot was way off in the distance. They could hear things way off in the distance. But when they turned the thermal camera on, there was one right by their feet in this thicket. It crawled right up on them to get a closer look at them. And it was practically by their feet. They jumped 10 feet in the air in fright and ran, basically.
Yeah. I haven't heard about that one, but I've heard of, that's what I'm saying. And these things are sneaky. They'll belly crawl. They'll do a whole bunch of crap that you're like, really? How in the hell do I miss something that's 8 foot tall, 6 foot across, probably weighs 1,000 pounds? Like I said, that thing will crawl right up on you.
You think walking through the woods how noisy that is for this thing that's as big as it is to get that close without them even knowing? That's bushcraft, I tell you.
There was a guy one time that matter of fact, I think he got put on a TV show, and they even put part of this video up that he shared with me. I think they put it up on TV, where he had set a camera out, and there's a stump in front of the camera several feet away, and he'd put a candy bar on the stump. A Bigfoot got down behind. It was a kind of a little hill that came up behind the stump. It got down behind that stump, crawled all the way up on its, had to be on its belly to the backside of that stump, and you can see something reach up, grab it, and then haul ass. And it wasn't no little bitty critter.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see the stump's probably about 2 foot tall, and whatever it is, you can see the backside of it is a little bit taller than the stump. Laying down flat. You just see this. It kind of looks like an arm. And a hand just reaches up, just as per you please, reaches and grabs that, and it just shoots off like a bolt of lightning.
Yeah, if you can imagine lying, so like face down, lying on the ground, and you're able to propel yourself forward with just bringing your elbows in close to your sort of sides, and just using your fingers and your toes to propel yourself in a horizontal direction. That's what they do, or something akin to that, and they're able to get in really close.
A couple of guys I know back a while that I used to hang around with a long time ago, they call it going 4x4, because Bigfoot will get down on all fours and haul ass like a monkey.
Yeah. I've heard accounts of that as well. But guy was driving over the crest of a hill, and there was 7 or 8 of them running in front of him, and they were going at speed on all fours, proper, like 40 miles an hour speed.
Yeah, and they can go from upright back down to that running.
But I think there's different kinds of Bigfoot. You've got like the ones up in the hills. You've got the lowland ones, and I think that they've got different sort of strategies. Well, that's just my view on it, basically. But
the ones in my area look kind of like one way. Now, the further north you go, the bigger they get, the more ornery they get. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And then you go back towards like the ones down in Florida and stuff. They're not quite as big as the ones that run around, like I said, up in Arkansas, Missouri, up in the mountains. They're a little bit thinner. Now, they still probably weigh 500 to 600 pounds. But their tracks look way different. It's, from what I saw, still was a Bigfoot. It just looked a little different.
Yeah.
And like I said, they'll go across marsh. And anybody that doesn't know, if there's anybody that's from Florida or the Everglades, whatever you want to call it, they have what they call marshlands out there, where it actually ain't ground. It's just a whole bunch of balled up freaking weeds and mass that's just floating along out there. Yeah. Some of those people that live out there, they can run across that and get across that You that don't know how to step on it, you'll go right through it, down you go, right over your head. It's like stepping in quicksand. And I've seen them suckers run across that damn thing, and it's like, are they running on water or? And then you get an air. It goes. You when I was out there, we got around on an airboat because you'll be going across through the Everglades out there and hit a patch of grass that a boat ain't going through there. And like I said, the water's probably over your freaking head, and you'll get an airboat go out there, and it'll be one of those patches that's floating along. Like I said, they'll be running. It looks like they're running on water, but it's actually that damn marsh crap. I don't know. I can't remember. It's got a name, and I can't remember what it's called. And I'm seeing some massive ass fucking gators, and if they can fight and live out there with them some bitches, they're some bad critters. I seen a gator. I seen an alligator down in Louisiana. We were in a 14-foot John boat close to the dock, and all of them swimming by us, and brought the head up, and it was a freaking gator, and it was as long as that 14-foot fucking John boat. I told that guy, I used the line from Jaws. We need a bigger boat.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah, we need a bigger boat. He goes, oh no, that's okay. No, the hell it ain't, dude. You can carry me back to the bank. That log's got a head, it's got a bunch of teeth in it.
I think those gators would be a good source of food for most of them, to be honest, if they were big enough to take them on.
There's so much crap to eat in a swamp. If you've never been in a swamp, there's so much crap to eat in a swamp that it's unreal. A lot of the cattails and grass and stuff, it don't taste real good, but it's edible.
Yeah.
There's mussels. There's what we call them mud bugs. Crawfish. Some people call them crayfish. You got saltwater turtle. I mean, you got turtles. You got so many different varieties of fish. It's unreal. Now, you got some catfish out there that what they call mud cat and channel cat. You know, they can get 25 pounds easily. And if you know how to get them, like I said, a 25-pound fish, that's a lot of meat.
There was a thing on YouTube not long ago, actually. The guy had caught a 400-pound catfish. And when they opened it up, they found evidence of a human being. They said it was a Nazi because it was like memorabilia from the same Nazi uniforms that was in his gut. But they found like the jawbone, a human, everything. It was big enough to. And these things will eat anything, you know. If you fit in their mouth, they'll eat it.
Yeah, their bottom their bottom dweller. They clean the environment. Anything that's on the bottom, like you said, they can get their mouth on. They eat. There's a big lake that's it's probably 40 miles away from me, and they had a man-made dam across it. Well, I think it was back in the early 60s, they sent the Corps of Engineers divers down, and they went down there long, and they come back up, and they refused to go back down because one of the divers said an eyeball came up beside him that was as big as a hook on a phone.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, they refused to go back down, and that's not like a core diver. I'm talking about they're used to working in bad situations, but like I said, they refused to go back down. And that dude told him, he said, "Dude, there's an eyeball came up beside me, the size of a Ford hubcap. Back then, that was a hubcap. You're talking about a 14-inch probably eyeball." So just imagine the fish that it was attached to. That's another reason why Vault don't do water. Like I said, I can't hold my breath that long, and my shit don't fucking work that good underwater.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got an eyeball that big. Imagine, fucking thing could swallow you up in one shot.
Yeah, yeah. Vault is bait. If you got a rope tied to me, I'm just on. Now I'm a worm on a hook. You know, down in Louisiana, I got a bunch of friends down in there. I got some family down in there. A lot of people don't realize the old people, they didn't use hooks and stuff. They used bone. they would put them in chickens in a certain way. So when the alligator would bite down and swallow it, and they'd go to pull off, that bone would come out and it'd get lodged in the throat. Well, they had a lot of them started swapping the hooks because a lot of their bait stuff was being ate by something that wasn't in the water. And they kept saying there was a big saying the rougarou was taking their bait stuff. And I kind of found out a rougarou can mean anything from a damn Dogman to a Bigfoot to whatever the hell they don't know what the hell it is. The rougarou does not. I thought a rougarou was like a werewolf Bigfoot. No, a rougarou can mean anything cryptid that they don't know what the hell it is.
Oh. Well, originally the term rougarou was French for a werewolf.
Yeah. No, not rougarou, lougarou.
Oh, lougarou there. Okay, yeah. All right, I got you. Then you get that Franco-American saying and all that stuff. Yeah, I get you. I see that.
Well, Cajun is actually a language, and Cajun is a mixture of several different languages kind of mixed together, called a Creole or Kunas. Hold on 1 second, y'all.
Or what?
Lakaya just showed up at my place and she brought Bear back.
Oh boy. Huh.
But yeah. What did you say? You had never heard Kunas?
Kunas. It's the only thing I've ever heard of a Kunas is like out of like somebody being called that in a movie.
Kunas is a Kunas is a true Cajun.
Okay.
Yeah, I got Kunas, and I got a bunch of relatives. My grandmother was full-blooded Cajun. As they say, she was one of the Bayou Cajun queens.
Oh, whoa, nice. That's something you want to take home to mama, right?
Okay. Them ladies out there, true Cajun queen. Yeah, you might want to rethink that because an argument ain't gonna go your way, and it ain't gonna be just because they're a female. It's because she's gonna whip your ass.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, she's gonna wear the pants of the family, and that's it.
Yeah, think of you remember that show that used to come on the Beverly Hillbillies?
Yes.
Yeah, that little blonde-headed girl that was in there. I believe she was Kuna.
Yeah.
Because I've seen
okay.
Most of the ones I know, the nice looking ones. Hey, just like her. She whooped Jethro's ass. And some people may think it's mean or derivative or whatever. Me saying Kunas, no, they'll tell you they're Kunas. That is a prideful thing for them. And like I said, I'm prideful for having some of it in me. My other heritage is Native American, so I'm Heinz 57 sauce because Cajuns are not just Cajuns are a mixture of everything from French. You got Native American. You've got old black slaves.
Is it like a New Orleans type sort of thing?
Yeah, that's where the Cajuns. That's where Cajun country is New
Orleans area. Yeah.
The whole state of freaking Louisiana. See, Louisiana at one time was French, and it was bought. It's how we wound up with it. But the French, a lot of French settlers settled there, and you got everything like I said from French heritage, Dutch, Native American, African American. It's literally a melting pot. And like I said, when I consider myself Heinz 57 sauce, there's probably a little of everything in there. Chaos go on live.
I actually stole Oakley's laptop. So since he's sleeping, and I'm looking at chat, I'm like, what does that mean? Going live? I just did.
I don't know.
I mean, I've always been here. I've just been listening.
And those links I'm leaving are links to Lakea's show.
He's just trying to encourage people to go on and talk. That's what he's doing. He's saying
hopefully, I mean, we got 17 people watching, and live on the stream. Yeah, I mean, we got 17 people watching, and Dice is the only one that's come on here with us, other than Paul, of course. But
maybe they're all government agents and they don't want to come on. Maybe
that's you know what? Yeah, Mulder and Scully are listening in on our stuff, and I am honored.
You want to? You need to bring your chicken shit ass on in here.
Have you ever been abducted by UFOs? Well, not in my recent memory, I haven't. But you never know.
Be abducted by Chaos and Paul, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, y'all talk about what you want. Give me just a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay. He must be going for more coffee. That's what I'm thinking.
Yes.
See, don't I know this?
You'll hear these fags going on a minute. These cigarettes.
Yep, smokes and coffee. We don't want to have. We'll really go left if he runs out of that stuff.
In the UK, a cigarette is called a fag, but I think in America,
I know that.
A fag's something different. It's like a derogatory sort of term, isn't it? Calling someone a fag.
Yeah, and here in the US, you'd be like, "Hey, you got a fag?" You'd be like, "Well, not me, but I know someone." Or what'd you call me? You know what I mean? Something like that. I'd be like, "That's not
you're
what
looking
I'm
for
talking
beef.
about."
No,
you got a problem?
No, it's a common phrase. I'm just going to go outside for a fag. Just going out for a smoke.
Well, it's funny. There's a TV show, Shameless, in the US, and it's very popular. But that TV show originated in the UK.
That's right. Yeah, Shameless.
Yeah, and I started watching. I watched a few episodes of the UK one, and I'm like, man, I couldn't keep up. I mean, it's just the accents. It's so thick and so fast. I couldn't keep up with it. But
it's totally. I don't know if you're familiar with the term feral. Like you talk about like it just means it's wild. Yeah, like a feral cat. A cat that's not tame. That show is feral.
Yes, it is.
What show are we talking about?
Shameless.
The UK version of Shameless. Yeah.
I have to say though, the American version is really good as well. I really enjoyed watching
it. It is. Yeah, the wife watches that one, and I'll sit there and watch it with her because it's funny. Yeah. It's a good show.
It's just total rednecks, basically.
yeah, inner city rednecks, basically.
I've not heard. Vault don't watch very much of that. You know the crazy crap I watch, but
yeah. Speaking of stuff to watch, have you watched Above Majestic yet?
Have I watched what?
Above Majestic.
No, I haven't sat down long enough. I got to go back and find that link so I can go and watch it.
Oh, it's right on Hulu. If you have Hulu, it's right there. You can punch that right into the search engine. It comes right up.
To be honest with you, I probably do and don't know I got it. If I do got it, I can put it in a search bar. I can find it.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those movies. It's a movie. It's a documentary. But that's one of those shows that you're going to get a lot of good information, and there's a fair amount of misinformation in it. It comes to a point for me personally in watching it. I've watched it a couple of times, and I've watched it very recently again just so I can kind of get caught up on it, because I'm pretty sure that Marvin and I are going to mention that in the upcoming show. And it's one of those things where you're going to get this nuts and bolts type of info, and it's very interesting, but then you're going to get what they think, their opinion on the situation. And it's interesting, to say the very least. You know what I mean? But it's when you kind of deep dive into it, two of the people who are the main characters that you hear about, that kind of give their interviews and they talk about stuff, are guys that have been kind of labeled as hoaxers in their own way. And I think you're going to get that in not only ufology, but you're also going to get that in the Bigfoot community, in the Dogman community, and Cryptid and any type of community that's out there. I mean, there's a lot of opinion.
Yeah,
But it's interesting.
You're gonna have hoaxers and everything, and that's one of the things that aggravate the hell out of me. There's already enough skepticism in the Bigfoot community, the cryptid community at all. I'm just gonna say the cryptid. It covers a wide variety of stuff. Look, I wish I'd sit down and quit, because we don't need any help with people thinking we're crazy, or this crap is false. There's enough people doing that out there already.
There was something that I saw recently, and I never answered the comment because it's like, why do I have to do your job for you type of thing? But I was watching a video and I had commented on something which kind of snowballed into a conversation with a bunch of people. And there was this one person that always shows up and goes, show us your research, or show me your research. And I'm like, why do I have to show you anything? I went and did all this stuff and did all these man hours collecting what I'm collecting, watching, learning, reading. Why do I have to show you what I have? Why you got to be so lazy and just say, hey, show me what you got, because I don't believe you. I don't care if you believe me or not. I think that's the biggest thing. You know what I mean? Oh, you don't believe me? Oh, I get it. No, dude, I don't care if you believe me. I know what I know, and I know what I've seen. Yeah. I'm just digging into stuff to wrap my own head around it so it kind of makes sense to me. That's shit like that really bugs me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I said, that bugs the crap out of me, because you got people like, well, I ain't gonna believe it unless you look. I'm not here to make you believe me. To be honest with you, I don't care if you do believe anything I've said. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to tell you what I know and what I believe to be true at that time. If it winds up not being true, I'll be the first one to come on to, hey, look, I was wrong, y'all, or I found out this is not right. But like I said, do your own research. Why would you believe me just because I told you? I'd rather you go out, get interested, go out, find your own research, and you come to your own freaking conclusion. But when you see one of these animals and for yourself, that right there is going to be your turning point, because now you're not a thinker. You're a I know. There's no doubt about it, because like I said, the first thing you're going to need to go change your pants. But like I said, do your own research. Stop depending on somebody else to, Vault said that he's seen this, and but he would never show us his evidence. Okay. Guess what? A lot of people like I said, I don't do that, because I've not come across any HD photos of Bigfoot. And the person that gives you that, I'd be willing to bet it's fake, because ain't nobody gonna stand there and get no HD photo of Bigfoot and come back and tell you those people ain't coming back if they stood there long enough to get that photo. And you ain't thinking about no photo when this thing comes out. You're thinking, oh shit, it is real. I do. But like I said, yeah, do your own research, because that way you come to your own conclusion. Don't listen to me and don't believe me. Fine. I want you to get intrigued enough to go do your own research. Come out with your own, because like I said, look at the night. It's mighty funny whenever Dice, when he told me where he was, I was able to tell him about a story that he hadn't mentioned nothing about, and we were able to carry on a conversation just like we'd read the same book.
Right. Well, a perfect example of that is something that I came to you with the other day, about a series of podcasts or radio shows that I listened to, detailing a very different side of the Kennedy assassination. It's stuff that I'd never thought about. And this is a guy that had researched this subject for 30 years of his life, like literally had taken money out of his own pocket in his own life to go track people down across the United States and fly out there or drive out there and talk to them and build this just unbelievable stack of research and in listening to it. And this is a guy that's never published anything, that's never written a book, that's never talked about it until right now, very recently. within the last year. And it's just mind blowing, which made me want to, okay, I'm going to start looking into this stuff. And I brought it to you, and we were talking. You're like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. And I'm like, well, hold on. He said this, and it's that's the beautiful thing about it. You don't have to necessarily agree with somebody, but when you start bringing up different points and different sides of things, that literally opens up a conversation. So if you're talking about something like that that's been done to death, no pun intended, and then you get this new, just giant group of research that's been done about it. It's like, well, wait a minute. It starts to make you think a little bit, type of thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, I said and that's the other thing. You can look at some research somebody's done and get an opinion. I can look at the same research that same person done. I can get an opinion. Then we get together, we discuss our opinion, and wind up somebody hears that and they get their own. It's like I said, it's so opinionated. And like I said, go get your own opinion. Don't just listen to me. Don't believe everything that I get. They said it. Like I said, chaos is right. You don't know how many times, even on the live streams, Vault, are you going to give us this? Are you going to show us that? Why? Like I said, you couldn't. It's not going to be like, there's Harry and Henderson's right there. No. A lot of times it's shaky. It's way off, or it's think about it. I'm got a camera focused on stuff that's several yards out in front of me, and then all of a sudden I walk up on something that's 10, 20 feet away from me. You're going to get a blurry object because, like I said, I'm not standing there and just staring it down. Y'all won't be hearing from Vault no more if I do
that. Yeah. Excuse me. That gets a little hairy. No pun intended. So it's,
Oh, there's a fella that's done the rounds on YouTube. He goes out, I can't remember his name, but he's supposed to have Dogman footage, and he goes out with a camera on his back, and it just has it running the whole time as he goes walking. And then what he does is he goes back and he goes through all the footage, and sometimes, sorry?
I know who you're talking about. I've talked.
Yeah.
It's actually a good idea.
But, I mean, what he's found is that when he goes and walks through the woods or wherever he goes where he thinks there's activity, he never sees it, but the camera sees it. And when he goes back and looks through it, he actually manages to find things that he just didn't even know was there,
Well, you have time then to actually slow down and look at it. That a lot of times they'll cross behind you, and like I said, they're not unless if they walk right out to you or towards you where you can just full-fledged see them. Usually that's the first sign that, hey, what's happening to you? Go on. Because it's a shock and awe thing. And then it ramps up from there.
Yeah.
But usually they'll cross by. That's actually a good idea. I talked to him about that. He made up a whole rig. He even leaves video cameras running in his truck, stuff like that, because he's had something come up, open his doors and stuff like that on his truck.
Yep.
I've talked to him a couple of times. I hadn't talked to him probably a year or so ago. There's another guy that was going out doing some stuff like I used to do. He contacted me, and he just got so discouraged because the area he was going in was kind of real easy and obvious to figure out from the people that was close to him or around him that knew that area. I think his name was Thinker Thumper. I don't even know if he's still on YouTube. But he quit doing it. He got so discouraged because people was going out to where he was actually finding like nests, stuff that they had built, different little areas. Then you had other people that was watching his videos and go out there and they would disturb it. And, that could be a bad thing in so many different ways that it can drive them off. It can piss them off where they come after you. But I don't even know if he's even on YouTube anymore. He contacted me and was like, "Man, do you feel comfortable still?" I said, "Well, I don't give areas and locations." And he said, "Well, I don't either." But they were able to figure out through my videos. I said, "That's the other thing. You have to make sure you don't put any kind of recognizable landmarks in your videos because you'll have people I don't know why, that'll just go out and do that." Then I've had other organizations contact me, wanting me to help them hunt one down to bring it back to show science. I'm not what I'm out. I'm not in for that.
Scott Carpenter. That was the name of the fella I was talking about. Well, thanks, Duck. Ruptured Duck mentioned it.
Yep.
You know, it's funny. It's something that we've talked about before, where, you know, the world that we live in right now, one of the really cool things about it is the technology that has, you know, come into video and picture taking ability. And, you know, you had said it, this guy, he's not noticing what's going on around him, but he's catching stuff. You know, it's like a lot of this drone footage, you know, that are catching UFOs, things that we aren't seeing with our normal eye. And a lot of this video of ghosts and phantasms and anything of, you know, that type of spiritual nature, you know, that people aren't noticing as they're recording, but they go back and they look at it. And, you know, with this technology that we have nowadays, it seems like they're able to look in spectrums that we cannot see with our normal eye. And it literally opens up more of the world around us.
Well, dudes, I think we're going to end it. We've been on for 3.5 hours. I think we're going to end it here, but I got one since we're going to do a UFO show tomorrow night dedicated to that. If anybody, I got a challenge for them. If anybody has got any night vision, drive out somewhere tonight. If you can't go outside in your backyard, turn it on, point straight up at the sky and look through it. And then tomorrow night, I want y'all to discuss about what you saw.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think I think you're gonna be interested.
And even better if you have night vision.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Night vision.
I don't know if you just meant but night vision, like I asked Vault to do, because I know he has night vision. Go in a place where there's no light at all. Look straight up into the sky. The stuff that's zigzagging around are not satellites. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know why you can't see it with your naked eye, but it's there. Like I said, just do that for the show for tomorrow night. We'll talk about that then. Paul, it's been fun, man. Thank you for being here again.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. This has been fun.
Chaos, my brother.
Yes, sir. Paul, Vault. This has been more fun than I can imagine. It's awesome. Great conversation tonight. We've had a lot of good times.
Always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Yep. Well, you know, you're almost a regular. You've been on the last two now, so the next time we do this, we're going to expect you to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I told everybody I'm fixing to start doing it a lot more often. I don't know if I'm going to get a regular day or time or whatever, but this is like the third one in probably a week. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I won't be on the ones during the weekdays because I get up at very early in the morning, so I got to go to bed very early in the evening. So.
That's no problem. Like I said, you're here when you can be here, and you never know when we do a recorded show and then I stick it up or you stick it up. You've got to go over to Chaos's channel to hear him and hear our stuff we do with the Infernal ones. Go over to Lakeia, like, subscribe, listen to her, because she's got a bunch of interesting stuff. And I want to get with her to do a show on some stuff she's got coming up. She told me about it. It was real interesting to me. And to all our nightmares, and to all the Chaos Army, sweet nightmares.
Good night, everyone.